evening, football fans, and welcome to another edition of 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's going on, y'all? This will be your brother, Big Bridget, here live on another beautiful Wednesday evening. It is Wednesday, April 29th. 2020, and here we are, a few days after the 2020 NFL Draft, and I'll tell you, it was a doozy. It was a good one, y'all. So many great picks, so many teams got better, a couple question marks in there, but were they really question marks? And of course, you gotta love the teams who hit it out of the park. Tonight, we're gonna have ourselves a little fun here, as usual here on 3 and Out, because it's the last episode that we're gonna have, of course, the usual, before 8 divisions in 8 days coming up at the end of July. This year we didn't have a combine show. Sucked. I know. Damn it. But that was my fault. Grad school, y'all. Grad school was tough, so got through that. We had our pre-draft show, and now it's time for our post-draft show, or our draft recap show, if you will. And that will be that for the summer, or for the remainder of the spring, that is, and then throughout the summer. And, well, at the end of the summer, we'll be right back at ya. July 27th is the date. Mark your calendars. We'll be starting off with the AFC West, because the Chiefs won it all. We start off with the winning division, or at least a team from the winning division, with 8 divisions in 8 days. Oh, we're going to have so much fun there. But it's time to get down to business here today as we get ready to talk about this draft. It's going to be a ball, and I hope you're ready. You are tuned in live for 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we go. What a draft. I'll tell you, that was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed myself. I definitely love my beloved Raiders picks. They were awesome. And we'll get into it in a little bit, because we are going to recap every single draft, or every single team's draft. So we got 32 teams to get through tonight, y'all. 32. We're going to go ahead and talk about those in groups. You know, I'm going to just kind of get down the list of their draft picks as we go. So tonight could be a little lengthy, but I hope you're here to enjoy, because this is going to be a fun show. So with that said, y'all, tonight, momentarily, my boys Mike, Patt, and Teran Rodriguez of IE Sports Radio will be joining me, and we're going to break down the draft and talk about, who we thought was actually pretty damn good, and who maybe looked a little silly, and who was like the undercover, the team who actually looked kind of silly, but actually was a lot smarter, and the teams that just looked kind of silly. So we're going to have some fun, giving our draft grades and the whole bit tonight. Once again, y'all, you are tuned in live for our very special NFL Draft Recap edition of 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We're going to take a short break. Quick little intro, and I got to go ahead and get my 2 co-hosts on for tonight's show. And when we get back, we're going to rock and roll. We got a lot of teams to get through. Jump in the chat room. If you have not been here before, if you're a new listener, jump in the chat room. I'll make a free account. It's quick. It's cheap. Well, it's free. It's quick. It's free. And you can have a lot of fun chatting along with us here in the chat room. And also, let us know what you thought about the draft. I'm curious, Phil, to think of what all of you diehards out there thought of your team's draft and maybe others. Once again, you're listening to our very special NFL Draft Recap Edition of 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Motorsports takes many form, and there's one show on IE Sports Radio that's ready to cover it all.
I sure hope you're talking about you and I, Daryl, because I know the Extra Mile is the best place to go for everything motorsports related.
Yes, it is. From NASCAR to IndyCar to sports cars to everything in between, IE Sports Radio has everything covered for the fastest sport in the world.
Plus, don't forget all of our random shenanigans along the way.
That's right, Caitlin. So for plenty of motorsports coverage and plenty of Caitlinisms, check out the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Caitlin Seen, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
What's up, everybody? This is Teran Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, white tea. We're coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems, with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
college football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS. Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Patt, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back, football fans! My apologies, there was a little break in the action there, y'all. Sorry, my bad. I meant to click one of the drops and I didn't, and there was like dead air for like a minute. My apologies. But a couple of our shows you can enjoy. Hopefully you enjoyed all those drops, and there's plenty more. Gotta say a big shout out to Mr. Marcus Los Great in the chat room. Of course, the host of Gloves Off here at IE Sports Radio. Catch another awesome episode last night from him. I still got to hear that. I still got to hear the majority of Teran's show from Monday night. And of course, I got to hear Mr. Mike Patt's show. It has been a pretty... it's like a chill week from me. I've like skipped out on so much, including these shows. I got to get back on them this week. They always do a great job. Every one of them do a great job. And it is awesome to think that every show so far this week, I got to host. I don't know. I forgot that Phil went on this like on Monday. I don't know. But I do know for a fact that these 3 definitely did. Marcus in the chat room was live last night talking boxing, talking MMA. Here to give you what you want. Here to give you what you need in a crispy white tee. Oh, I love that. And of course, talking last night, or 2 nights ago actually, NFL draft with a glass of wine. Oh, talk about an elegant show with lots of hard hits. You gotta love it. Of course, Mike Patt with Let's Wine About Sports. And then going back to the second show on for this week, Monday, right before Mike's show, we have Mr. Teran Rodriguez. And it was a awesome show, by the way. If you didn't catch it, make sure to catch it. He went ahead and had a really cool guest, really neat interview that I enjoyed as much as I could. But one more big shout out to editor of the Daily 49er, which is pretty freaking sweet, of course, which is basically now just Long Beach's their sports coverage, but it's the Daily 49er, even though they're not the 49ers anymore. Anyway, we got into that can of worms already before. Big shout out to him, though, y'all. Great dude for coming on in, Mark Lindahl. And then, of course, earlier this week, on Sunday, actually, hopefully you caught Dentarius and Mr. Davidson Crooks, man. Dentarius Locke and Davidson Crooks had an awesome show on Sunday night talking about the draft, and they'll be doing fast break from now on. We'll get our regional series going, but with no sports, y'all, it's kind of tough to keep everything going like that. So we'll take care of the big stuff now, and then get into, the regional and everything like that when sports start rolling again. So, all right, y'all, let's get it. Here we go. So, to join me to recap every one of these teams, and by the way, we have a grading scale tonight that I am quite fond of. We'll get to that in a moment. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let him tell you about it after his introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, he is the chief editor of the IE Sports Radio blog. He is, of course, the founder of and the host of Let's Whine About Sports here on IE Sports Radio. And, of course, he's just one of the biggest football fans you'll ever meet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the one, the only, Mr. Mike Patt. What's going on, Mike?
Not much, Larry. It is always great to be talking about the NFL draft before and after it happens.
Isn't it awesome? It really is. So glad to have you aboard tonight, brother. And of course, welcoming in the founder and host of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, talking volleyball. That's right, talking all volleyball, y'all. Trust me, you want a volleyball show? You may not be into it now, but after you hear his show, you might just be into it. Trust me, you don't knock it till you try it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming one of the heads of our PR department, as well as founder and host of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio. Welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Teran Rodriguez. What's going on, Teran?
Hey, Larry B. Long time no see. It just feels like it's been a week since we last talked with one another.
Funny guy. It's been a whole week. You're absolutely right. So, I agree. And you know something, guys? Tonight's show is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start in just a few minutes here. 25 after, I think, is a perfect time to start. We're going to go rapid fire through all these. It's going to be a lot of fun. All the drops you heard earlier are going to be all the drops you're going to hear for tonight, because we're going to go straight through it, and let's get on it. But before we start, I got to go ahead and let him explain it. I got it down, but I definitely want to... I love it. The way he explained it is great. So, with that said, Marcus in the chat room claps. Thank you. Far too kind, Marcus. But with that said, y'all, and that's, of course, to my peeps. I guess to me, of course, to my colleagues here, of course. Showing love. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being along with us here tonight. Everybody listening, everybody tuning in, thank you so much. If it's your first time, show us some love, y'all. Check us out. Let us know. And of course, if you're already on here, like I told you, if you're listening, make a free account. It's free, y'all. Make a bigger account. Jump in the chat room. Let us know. And if not, hit us up, man. Add us. Of course, IE Sports Radio Twitter, my personal Twitter. You're going to see it right now. Plenty, of course. And the IE Sports Radio Twitter at IE Sports Radio. Of course, the 3 and Out Twitter as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, Mike, what about your little system here what we're going to be using tonight, man? How are you going to explain that?
Alrighty, so this is a system that I developed a couple years ago. So basically, there's this huge obsession, and this is like all over the sports world, not just football, everywhere. People are obsessed with giving a grade, a letter grade to a team's draft immediately after the draft is over. I do not like this system. Why? Because honestly, we don't know how these drafts are going to turn out until probably a good solid 2 to 3 years after they happen. So I developed my own system, which A, I think summarizes it a little bit better, and B, as Teran stated before we started, doesn't step on anybody's toes. A system where you graded on a scale of loved the draft, liked the draft, or we'll see. So it's this three statements about how you felt about the team's draft, and none of them imply that the draft will be great or bad. It just talks about how you felt about the team.
And you know what? It's also, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, because we're going to be putting out the tweet like we did last week with our mock drafts attached to them, and now we're just going to put loved it, liked it, or we'll see. So I like that. It's actually pretty legit. Let's get underway, gentlemen. So, alphabetical order here. The first team up on tonight on the docket. I screwed that up so bad, but whatever. The first team up tonight on the docket for the recap is, of course, starting with the letter A, the Arizona Cardinals. So, gentlemen, this isn't really... Okay, I'm going to make this as quick, because we're only trying to do like a minute here. So, real fast, let's just roll on through this here. So, in the first round, they went ahead and picked up Isaiah Simmons, linebacker out of Clemson. Amazing pick, in my opinion. Then they would have no second. They will then take out, in the third round, they would take Josh Jones, offensive tackle out of Houston. I thought that was a pretty damn good pick there. Leki Fotu, I don't know his name, defensive tackle out of Utah. He's a big dude, strong, tough guy there in the middle of the interior of that defensive line. Rashard Lawrence, defensive tackle out of LSU. You can totally see what they're doing here. That was in the 5th round. Oh, sorry, in the 4th round as well. 6th round, Evan Weaver, inside linebacker out of Cal in the 6th, and that is basically it. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see the amount of defense they took here. Of course, they got a big tackle in there, but they're trying to address the defense. They think they got what they need on offense. They think they got Kyler Murray now, and they think they got a pretty solid offense, which I think so as well. They got a little, a tool to help him out, a piece in there, awesome, and then they got a lot of defense. Personally, guys, last year they brought in T-Sizzle for a little bit and they let him go, but I'm just saying, you can see how much they need the defense. So I'm going to say straight off the bat, you know what, for this draft, with the amount of defense, I can't help it. There's a little bias. I'm a defensive guy. I loved it. Mike, what you got?
I'm actually going to go with loved it as well. I thought the Cardinals did a fantastic job here. Not only waiting for Isaiah Simmons, who, by the way, I think everybody, even in our group mock draft, had gone before pick number 7. So the fact that they waited and got him at 8 was excellent. And then getting Josh Jones, a guy who some people had in the 1st round, all the way in the 3rd, given the offensive line issues this team has, I thought it was fantastic. I think Fotu and Lawrence will be difference makers on the front line. And then Eno Benjamin in the 7th round is one of those sneaky picks. You know, those late round running backs, they like to come out of nowhere and perform. So I'm going to say I loved it. I thought the Cardinals did an excellent job. Yeah,
you know what? That's 2 of us. Are we going to go across the board, Teran? What you got?
Yes, we will go across the board, and I actually loved the Cardinals draft because in a division where you're facing the 49ers, who are loaded, the Seattle Seahawks, who are pretty much trying to catch up to the 49ers, the Rams, who are still relatively good but not as good. The Cardinals need all the defensive help that they can get, and they did really well this draft. Simmons was a big pickup for them, and I think they're going to be able to thrive in the AFC West or NFC West, sorry, but yeah, they are going to thrive in that division, and honestly, I think they may make some noise. They're going to be so much better with Murray and Hopkins and Kenyon Drake, but with the draft, they just got better. So, yeah, I loved it.
Well, that's across the board because that was a great draft. I really, really thought that defensive direction was awesome. So, all right, so we're going to be moving. See, that was quick and easy, y'all. Quick and easy. So let's move on now over to the Atlanta Falcons. And this was awesome. To me, guys, let's get to the picks real quick, but my gosh, there's a pick in here that I absolutely love. In the 1st round, they picked in every round. Well, not every round. They picked 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, no 5th or 6th, and then 1 in the 7th. So, 1st round, AJ Terrell, corner out of Clemson. We knew he was going to go high. The guy is a gosh damn machine, and he's going to make a difference on this team. They need secondary. I thought that was great. Marlon Davidson, we talked about him. We talked about him being this machine in the middle. We talked about him being a big presence to deal with, of course. Actually, they got him as an end here. I mean, I guess he was back and forth, or he just played end. I don't know. But regardless, man, that Auburn defensive line is pretty sharp this year. Marlon Davidson showed plenty, from what I understand, and big boy out of Auburn goes on over there to be a presence to play, and he might, I don't know if he'll be a starter, but gosh dang it, that's going to be some good depth at least. Matt Hennessy, Temple, center out of Temple, well, as you can see here, they're trying to address more offensive line. You're going to kind of need that for Matt Ryan, especially because he's getting up there in age. And, of course, Michael Walker, okay, or McCall, I don't want to butcher his name, but I think it's McCall Walker. Linebacker out of Fresno State. Good pickup there. Once again, they want to beef the defense as much as possible. They had defenses there, linebackers in and out of there since Sean Witherspoon, guys. Like, it's been a journey at linebacker for the Falcons, and they're just trying to make something stick, really, I guess. And I think it's a good pickup. Great young guy who can get in there and maybe see some playtime early. Jalen Hawkins, safety out of Cal, maybe a little bit of a reserve player, but a hard-hitting safety. Got to see a lot of this guy, of course, in the Pac-12 this year. And Sterling Hoffertshire, I believe is how you pronounce the name. A punter out of Syracuse. Now, at the end of the day, y'all, punters, they are unique. They may be great. They may be cut. But at the end of the day, you find somebody who can pin them deep every time, that's a keeper. So, overall, I personally feel like right now, That offensive line still needs a little beef. I thought they might go there at least maybe a couple times, not just once. I like how they're addressing the secondary. I liked how they addressed the linebacker. I like how they definitely addressed the defensive end. And honestly, if it wouldn't have been for this pickup at center, I would have gone with liked it. But honestly, because they addressed, I think, at least one place, like one pick at the positions they needed the most, I'm going to go ahead and give it to them. I loved it. I really think that this was actually a pretty good draft for the Falcons. So my apologies, y'all. I went a little longer on that one. But Mike, what you got?
I'm going to say I liked this one. Just based off of the first 3 picks, I would say borderline loved it. Pretty close to loved it. The day 3, I'm not saying it was bad, but it didn't blow me away either. I'm not sure about Walker and Hawkins, which is kind of the point of the we'll see category in the draft. Like, I'm not sure if those guys will truly become impact players. So day 3 is a little bit closer to the we'll see, and days 1 and 2 were borderline loved. So I've fallen in the middle. I liked it. Terrell and Davidson will be day 1 producers on defense, and Hennessy will most likely get his chance at guard first, and then hopefully it probably eventually take over for Alex Mack at center. But overall, I'll say I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Okay, fair. Teran, what you got?
So yeah, I liked the Falcons draft as well. I mean, again, they play in a very tough division as well, being the NFC South, and they're going to need as much firepower offensively and defensively as possible. I think their defense was the main thing. I think last week I said defense was their main thing they need to focus on. And honestly, I think they did really well in regards to that. I know it's too early to say that they could hopefully hang with the powerhouses of the NFC South, but I liked the Falcons draft.
It was a good draft. Like I said, the reason why I loved it is because they addressed what they needed, and they got a player for every position that they thought. And once again, y'all, it's plug in. We don't know. This young guy can come in and make some things happen. So I thought that was great. So, okay. So we're going to move around to the Buffalo Bills. This was, I'm sorry, the Baltimore Ravens. Silly me. Let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens, y'all. The Bills not guilty yet. But real quick, I'll get speed through this one because I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. We knew they were going to go defense and go heavy defense as usual. Patrick Queen, I loved it. That was a pick. Oh, I enjoyed it so much. That is a great pick for me, and that he's going to address that defense so well. Awesome. J.K. Dobbins, running back out of Ohio State. Hey, why not? Gosh damn it. This team is good. They need some type of, more of a running game. Why not get some more running backs back there? Be a powerful, just how the way they play offense, the way they play defense is the way they play offense. Okay, hard hitting. Justin, and I don't want to butcher his name, but Matabuki, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Texas A&M defensive lineman, you know what? A big boy out of the SEC. You know they love their depth. Watch him get out there and make some things happen. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be a starter, but he may be in the rotation. That's good enough. This pick I absolutely loved, guys. Devin Duvernay is a freaking beast. I got to see a lot of this guy this year playing in burnt orange over there in Texas, and this guy is a machine. He can catch, he can get down the field, he can get up and get the ball. He's a good athlete. Great pick there. Linebacker Malik Harrison out of Ohio State. Hard-hitting dude who I don't know how he didn't go higher, but hey, he went in the 3rd round. Cool. Watch him get out there and make a difference. Like, watch him get out there and earn himself a spot, or at least be in a heavy rotation by the time the season starts. I have a lot of hope in this guy. He's a lot of faith in this guy. He's a great player. Guard Tyree Phillips out of Mississippi State. Another big boy there for the line. A lot like Ben Bredesen out of Michigan. The two guards there in the 3rd and 4th round. Then we have defensive lineman Broderick Washington out of Texas Tech. You got another got a Big 12 defensive lineman there. You got a wide receiver in James Prock out of SMU. We saw a lot of him this year. That guy was lighting up the scoreboard, putting SMU on the map. Like, really, that was a great job by him all year long. He was a steal in the 6th round. I can't tell you how much higher I thought he was going to go. And then safety Geno Stone out of Iowa. Personally, I think, hey, we don't know yet. He's kind of like a we'll see pick. It's always the 6th, 7th round kind of guys. But Iowa was a solid team. I got to see them play. I got to see him play. Didn't really analyze him when I was watching, but overall, I thought that was he was a solid pick because you can never have too many too many safeties, and I now ask for the Ravens. That once again, they're a defensive team. Overall, guys, I know this is going to sound ridiculous because this is my third one, but seriously, I don't even care. The amount of defense here, the late pickup of Proc, oh my gosh, the pickup of Queen, knowing they're a defensive team, they got a really good running back, J.K. Dobbins. Gentlemen, here we go for the third time in a row. I loved it. Mike, what you got?
So I've teetered back and forth actually on this draft a little bit because in the fifth round when they selected Broderick Washington out of Texas Tech, Bradley Anae from Utah was still on the board, and I thought that would have been the 10 times better pick than Washington. But then I realized that I am critiquing this draft over a late fifth round draft choice. If that is the one draft choice I had a problem with, then this was a pretty darn good draft. And when you look at it, what the Ravens did, what did they do? They drafted two stand-up linebackers. Well, guess what they don't have to worry about for the next 3 years? Inside linebacker. They drafted interior offensive lineman. Don't have to worry about that. They drafted for now and the long term simultaneously, which is very impressive. So I got to say I love this draft. I thought it was great. I think they added good receivers. They checked off most of their needs. And their value on most of these picks was phenomenal. Like J.K. Dobbins at 55 was a borderline joke that was that good.
Really? I mean, the guy, he's a steal. I loved it. I thought that was amazing. So, great stuff. All right. So, we both loved it. Teran?
Yeah, I also loved Baltimore's draft, considering, they got better all across the board with their linebackers. And I will just say this. I called J.K. Dobbins being drafted by the Ravens. Sure, it was in the first round, but he eventually found his way to the Ravens. Not trying to be the I called it guy, but
don't do
that just gives the Ravens another offensive option, honestly. And, they're already loaded as it is, so I don't think they're going to be going anywhere in that AFC North. A little early to say, but, the Ravens are still looking absolutely amazing, so I loved their draft.
Awesome.
And I'll just throw this out there. I called Patrick Queen going to the Ravens in the first, so...
Don't do it, Mike. I'm just kidding. You did, though. You did. You absolutely did. So, gentlemen, I'm just messing with you. You did, and that was awesome.
It's okay. I'm going to be giving credit to Teran for a future pick, though, so don't worry. It'll be coming.
Hey, awesome. So, we got some stuff in the chat room here, but we will get to those when the teams come. Because I don't want to have to double dip. So we will get to those, y'all. So we're going pretty quick here. So next up. Okay, so hold on really quick. I just want to get ready for this one, of course. Because they had no first round. That kind of threw me off, but they didn't. They didn't have a first round pick. But the Buffalo Bills. Starting things off here, second round, AJ Epinesa. Defensive end out of Iowa. Yet another one of those tough Hawkeyes getting drafted. This dude's the real deal. You saw him in the combine. He's a hell of an athlete. And seriously, the guy is a very good player. Through and through. When they're showing his highlights and everything, the guy is great. So awesome pick there. Definitely can help out in that very stout. They're very stout. Buffalo Bills defense. Zach Moss, a running back out of Utah. Even if I'm a big Pac-12 fan, I didn't see a lot of him this year, but regardless, Utah had their ups and downs, their dips, and this and that. Overall, seems like a solid running back, and once again, you can never have too much depth. Gabriel Davis, wide receiver out of UCF, they picked him up there. Of course, they're more depth at wide receiver. Jake Fromm was the pick that was about as nuts as can be. I was like, okay, Jake Fromm makes most sense for who? Well, the Patriots, for damn sure. The Eagles, I can definitely say that. And, who else? Well, where could he really fit? Oh, yeah, the Redskins, maybe. Sorry, Mike, I don't know. I know how you feel about that, but the teams who... the teams who aren't certain at quarterback... Sorry, Mike. I just feel like, he could have gone somewhere else, but I just feel like the Bills did that on purpose. Like, Patriots are going to get him. Seriously, that's what I feel like the Bills did. But quarterback out of Georgia in the 5th round, I think he went really late. But you know what? It's just how all these teams analyzed him, however. But they picked him up. Tyler Bass, kicker out of Georgia Southern, and we had Isaiah Hodgins, wide receiver out of Oregon State. Didn't see a lot of him this year. Oregon State didn't have the best season. And then, of course, they had Dane Jackson, corner out of Pittsburgh, and that's just going to add more depth to their secondary. So, This was one that I've got to tame it down a little bit. Overall, I loved the AJ Epinesa pickup. I thought that was awesome. The Jake Fromm pick kind of gave me question marks. I'm not gonna hate it. I don't think it was bad. They got depth in certain places, but overall, guys, I'm gonna go with liked it, just because Epinesa is somebody who I think is really, this guy has potential to be in the heavy rotation and to really help out a lot on that defense, be another tough body. But regardless, other than that, I cannot say I loved this draft. They still need a lot of help elsewhere, especially on the offensive line. So, Mike, what you got? I think Mike's muted. Are you muted, Mike? Do we get our first one of the day?
Oh, look, sorry, I thought I unmuted myself. Whoops, my bad. So are you saying you liked it, Larry, or we'll see?
I liked it. I want to say we'll see, but the only thing that kept me was Epinesa.
See, I'm going to take a little bit of probably a pick move that a lot of people are going to disagree with. I'm going to say I actually love this draft.
Interesting.
And the reason why is, so the Bills had no first pick. They didn't have a pick until the 54th selection on this draft. And when you look at the guys they got and the value, given the picks they had, I don't think you could have expected anything more. Like, I think they got about the most that they could have gotten. You know, they got a potentially very talented defensive lineman, a really good piece at running back, two big receivers, which, by the way, fun fact, Buffalo's receivers last year, the top three receivers were all under 6 feet tall. So what did they do in the offseason in the draft? They got 6'1" Stephon Diggs, 6'2" Gabriel Davis, and 6'4" Isaiah Hodgins. That makes sense to me. And on day 3, they took guys who were experienced, guys who can provide depth. Like, I'm going to say I loved it because I don't think Buffalo could have done any better than what they did. They hit all of their needs. Yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair to say. And you know what? I can totally see that. You got to open my eyes to that. Makes sense. So, okay, what you got, Teran?
I actually liked the Bills' draft. You know, I don't think they had a bad draft. You know, they had a good draft. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. You know, I also kind of scratched my head at that with them taking Jake Fromm, but I don't even know who the Bills' backup quarterback for Josh Allen is. I think their last backup was like Matt Barkley, which, you know, played in the Patriots game. And, you know, I mean, I love Matt Barkley, but, you know, at this point, you know, I didn't even know he was in the NFL. So I guess getting Jake Fromm was pretty good, you know, honestly. And they did need some more receivers for Josh Allen. And, you know, I think Zach Moss is a solid pick, you know, coming from a really good school such a, well, I don't want to call him really good, but, you know, a talented school such as Utah. And, you know, as AJ Epinesa is really good at edge, so that just makes the Bills' defense even more scary. Well, so it was good.
They certainly had I thought it was good, but Mike made some great points of why he loved it, and honestly, yeah, I mean, when you don't have a first-round pick, you kind of take what you can get, but at the same time, they did get value in here, so that's good stuff. I'm still going to go liked it, but that's a very good way of putting it, Mike. Next up, the Carolina Panthers. So they had one pick for, actually they didn't, it just looks like it. They of course had their first rounder, 2 seconds, 1 4th, 1 5th, 1 6th, and 1 7th. They were pretty steady all through the draft. So first things first, they pick up a giant monster in Derek Brown. Okay, out of Auburn, we knew he was the SEC Player of the Year. The guy was a freaking beast, and we knew that he was going to be a high pick, and they picked him overall at 7. Amazing pick here. I absolutely loved this pick because he's going to help out so much in the interior of that defensive line. And, well, let's just say the offense, I think, is pretty well taken care of right now. I love this offense. Coach Rule is this guy is... I'm so excited for the Carolina Panthers. I can't tell you how excited I am for the Carolina Panthers. So, if you know that, go on over to the iSports Radio blog on iSportsRadio.com and check it out. You will see what I got to say and why I think this team, okay, why I think this team can be so great this year. Next up, second pick. I thought this was great. Defensive end, Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State, this dude is the bomb.com.org.eu. I mean, seriously, like, this dude is amazing. I really loved this pick. He is an absolute machine. And we knew he was going to be a high pick. We knew he was going to be definitely selected. And now you're going to add him along with this monster from the SEC. I loved it. Great stuff there. Jeremy Chin. This was a safety, of course, safety out of Southern Illinois. Don't know too much about this guy, but I do know they do need some help in the secondary. And overall, you never know those gems. Overall, right now, you got to think, okay? You got to think. Defensively, what are they looking at? If you got to think about this, you got to replace a linebacker, a damn good linebacker. But if you have a good secondary with a safety who can hit like a linebacker, that's just saying, that might be something there. So overall, I just want to say right now, I think this is a good pick here. I don't want to get too much into this, but this was one of those picks that you can kind of look at in so many different ways. Next up, Troy Pride Jr. Out of this dude right here is a pretty good player overall. Pretty stout corner. I wouldn't say lockdown, but realistically, he can help out in depth wise. Safety Kenny Robinson. Okay. The West Virginia dude is actually a pretty good team. I mean, a pretty good player and a covering safety, which is kind of what you want when the deep ball's thrown. So he could possibly get in there and become pretty savvy early. Bravion Roy, defensive tackle, big monster, another big boy coming on in the later rounds. Overall, once again, more depth. I like this. And then cornerback Stanley Thomas all over the third. I don't know too much about this guy coming out of FIU, but overall, I think he is, once again, more depth. And when you look at this, we can see the direction they're moving in. They really want to beef the defense because I think they pretty much got the offense. So, guys, this is another one. But because the fact that I loved the offseason, to me, they did the right thing in the draft. I loved this draft. I did. Mike, what you got?
So I liked this draft. I thought their first two picks were phenomenal. Derek Brown and Yetur Gross-Matos. Really guys who will be big impact players in the front seven. After that, I was a little unimpressed. I thought they waited a little long on a cornerback because cornerback is a big need for them. I don't know if anybody's looked at their cornerback depth chart recently, but they're relying on guys who have not had a ton of NFL experience or success to be like number 2 and number 3. So I thought they waited a little long on corner. And also, numbers show, there have been studies on this. Strangely enough, people have way too much time on their hands. There have been studies. And what does that say about the guy that reads the studies? I don't know. But there have been studies that, teams that overload on one side of the ball, they call it the unbalanced approach, where you draft the majority of your draft is one side of the team, defense or offense, don't necessarily get as much impact as teams that have a more balanced approach. So that gives me a little bit of reservations, the fact that they literally took all defense. That they maybe perhaps ignored the offense a little too much. So overall, I liked it because those first two picks were phenomenal.
You know what? That works for me. I can see that, and you know what? That really does work. Teran.
So I'm split down the middle with the Panthers. I loved their defensive picks, but as Mike said, they didn't have any offense. So to me, I liked it. So, because I get their defense needs drastic improvement because they were pretty bad defensively. Their defense looked like Swiss cheese, full of holes. But after seeing them load up defensively, I think they will be still be far better than last year. But I liked it. That's pretty much what I got.
Overall, I just like the offense is freaking powerful. Like they've put together something great there. I guess love the amount of defensive picks. What could I say? I guess I'm being a little biased again, but damn it, that looked good. So I got you guys. It totally makes sense though. Okay, so Chicago Bears. This was different. It was different. They didn't have a first-round pick, so let's go ahead and roll through these. I won't spend too much of these, I promise. Cole Kmet, tight end out of Notre Dame. Solid pick. The guy can go up and catch the ball. He is freaking huge. Good job. I love this pick. Jalen Johnson, corner out of Utah. Saw a lot of this guy this year, and you know what? Watch what he does. That's all I gotta say. This guy's freaking good. Okay, then they didn't have a pick all the way to the 5th round. They had Travis Gibson. Okay, he's an edge rusher out of Tulsa. They had Kendall Vildor, corner out of Georgia Southern. Then we had Darnell Mooney, wide receiver out of Tulane. Arlington Hambright, guard out of Colorado. And Lachavius Simmons, guard out of Tennessee State. Okay, I see a team who has a lot of issues right now on the offense side of the ball, whose defense is pretty gosh damn stout, but they're not necessarily eye-popping, this crazy hardcore defense. The pickup of Cole Kmet was freaking great. I loved it. Jalen Johnson, watch this guy. I am so excited to see him wear an NFL jersey. He's going to do... I have a lot of hope for this guy, too. And the rest of these picks, you know what? They can kind of be a shot in the dark. Okay, an edge rusher, you got another corner there for depth. You got a wide receiver that who knows, you can break out and be, who knows. And then some depth at linebacker. You got Nick Foles there now. I really, really love that they got Nick Foles, but the offensive line just isn't up to par, guys. I don't think so at all. So, could they have maybe, instead of Kmet, even though I love him, I think he was a great pick, got an offensive lineman? Yes. Could you kind of help address it? But at the same time, I don't know. So I'm going to go liked it, just because I feel like maybe they could have kind of waited a little bit on a tight end and kind of helped out the offensive line just a little bit more because they got a guy who can, just saying, took a team to the freaking Super Bowl. Okay, I'm just saying. So overall, I'm going to say liked it. Mike, what you got?
Okay, here's my thing, is that I really like Cole Kmet as a prospect. I think he was the best tight end in this draft. He's the first tight end to go. I think he's going to be an immediate impact tight end. But Chicago, entering the draft, Larry, Chicago had 7 tight ends on their roster. 7. One of whom, Jimmy Graham, they just gave $9 million in guaranteed money over 2 years. Former second-round pick Adam Shaheen. They have a couple of free agents they signed, a couple of their own guys they've groomed. I do not understand the logic behind drafting a tight end with your first pick when you don't have a first-round pick and only 2 picks in the first 4 rounds. Now, Jalen Johnson, like that pick. I think he can be a starting corner in this league. I think he might even be a starter early for them. And then they picked up some decent depth guys along the way, guys who may contribute, maybe not. But that very first pick drops Chicago firmly and unequivocally, unless they had amazing rest of the draft, into the... We'll have to see about this one, because I'm going to have to see how this one plays out in 3 years.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that. That many tight ends, but I can see where you're going with that. All right, Teran, what you got?
Mike literally stole the words out of my mouth. So I honestly don't agree with them drafting a tight end with their first pick, because honestly, they have like a bunch of tight ends, and they also have Trey Burton. I think they still have Trey Burton, and like Mike just said, they have Jimmy Graham. What are you doing, Bears?
I will say, Teran, I'll throw it. They did release him designated June 1st cut right before the draft. Like 3 days before the draft. So, in all fairness, that's relatively recent news. So, I'll throw that out there really quick.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike. But still, they have so many tight ends. They could form a basketball team, to be honest. I for sure did not love it. So I'm going to go with we'll see when it comes to the Chicago Bears this draft. I'm not going to try to knock them too much, but they just left a lot to be desired in this draft.
And you guys both make great points. You even gave me to question my own.
I just like the idea, however, of Chicago forming a basketball team. I think that'd be fun.
They could probably beat the Bulls.
Better than the Bulls.
Jimmy Grant was a collegiate power forward, so...
That's right. Who do you play for?
Miami.
Duh. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you know what? Seriously, overall, I think that's about... Yes, right, the U. Overall, guys, great points there. Next up, we're going to go ahead and jump on into Cincinnati Bengals, of course, the team who had the first overall pick. Joe Burrow, was this, a gigantic surprise? Not really. I remember Terrence said that in the chat room, and yeah, absolutely. Well, in our 3-and-out group. And it's not. It was nowhere near a surprise. Great job here. And you know what, overall, this young man is going to, I really feel like he could be that guy for the Bengals. He's very good, and I can't say enough great things about him. And if I continue, I'm gonna run way over my time. So then next up, C.D. Higgins, great receiver here out of Clemson. Like, seriously, these Clemson players have so much value to them. Awesome job. Logan Wilson, linebacker out of Wyoming, hard-hitting linebacker. Don't even know much about him, but I saw a lot of his highlights there. Great stuff. Great player out of the Mountain West. And then they didn't have a pick until they did. So next up in the 4th round, Akeem Davis-Gaither, linebacker of Appalachian State. Once again, probably some more linebacker depth for them here. Realistically, they need a lot of help. Like, a lot of help all over the place. But hey, if you got some guys, some hitters, at the end of the day, if they don't score, we don't lose, right? So that's I think, the method behind that. Awesome job. Khalid Kareem. Okay. Defensive end of Notre Dame. I saw this guy play. Not in person, but you know how well he can play. Seriously, guys, he could have went a lot earlier. His pursuit is ridiculous. Also, a big boy out of Kansas. Okay, offensive lineman Hakeem Ndinhi, I believe. And then they picked up Marcus Bailey, linebacker out of Purdue. As you can see here, they're really trying to build that defense as best as they can with what they can get. And overall, they feel like they may have all the weapons they need on offense. They feel like maybe all they really needed was a quarterback, and they even got an offensive lineman in there for some depth. And overall, I mean, you gotta... This is hard because I don't want to say anything other than loved it, guys. And the reason why I loved this draft, I know I'm supposed to go over the entire thing here and try and go entirety and not get hung up on the first pick. But you know what, guys? Burrow is enough for me to love it. I mean, the rest of the picks, I like the linebacker depth. I see what they're trying to do with the defense, but my gosh, guys, they can't go on no more like this. Like, they needed their guy. They needed the guy behind center. And you know what? I really think Burrow has a lot of promise to him. So, guys, I'm going to go loved it. Mike, what you got?
So I'm going to go loved it as well, but I'm going to go loved it. I don't want to say in spite of the first overall pick. Here's my feelings on the first overall pick. It was I don't want to say easy decision, but it was a simple decision. You needed a franchise quarterback. You had this really excellent prospect right there. You took him. Really simple. I equate it to in baseball when the Washington Nationals took Bryce Harper with the first overall pick. Yes, great pick. It was a duh pick. Of course you take Bryce Harper. He was supremely talented. So that's my feeling, but I thought the rest of the draft, they just did really well. You've got your franchise quarterback. What do you get for your franchise quarterback? A shiny new weapon to play with in T. Higgins, which was an excellent a second-round pick. And then, so in free agency, they got a defensive tackle and several defensive backs. They left linebacker and pass rusher. So what did they do in the draft? They got linebackers and pass rushers, which linebacker is actually, in my opinion, their second biggest need behind quarterback. So I thought they did a great job there. And then Adeniji was actually my favorite. That's my pronunciation. I'm going with it. I have no idea. You might be right, but I'm going with Hakeem Adeniji. He was one of my favorite day 3 prospects. I think at worst case scenario, they've got a guy who can be a really versatile backup. So overall, maybe could they have used a better tackle? Maybe, but other than that, I thought they crushed it. So I'm going to say I loved it.
All right, I like that. All right, I loved that. Great stuff. Teran, what you got?
I loved the Bengals draft too because they left a lot to be desired prior to the draft, but obviously Burrow helps their team out quite a bit. And T. Higgins adds depth in the wide receiver range because they have A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd, and their other picks really help complement them as well, to be honest. You know, Mike pretty much said it, but, you know, they loaded up their bases with talented players that they definitely needed. You know, Wilson does really well at linebacker, even though he comes from a Mountain West school. You know, Akeem Davis-Geither was one of the reasons why App State was successful last year. And Khalid Kareem, you know, of Notre Dame also helped that Fighting Irish defense. So I loved the Bengals draft.
You know, that's great across the board, guys, and I completely agree with you. Next up, the Cleveland Browns, the other team in Ohio, and the team, you know, northeast of them on the other side of the state, diagonally. And this team here had a draft that I still don't know how I feel about this. Let's get through it real quick. So, first round, picking up the big monster we thought they would pick up, or at least a big boy we thought they were going to pick up offensive line, and Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. Nice work there. Safety, Grant Delpit out of LSU. I thought he was a corner, but regardless, very good pickup here. I was like, yes! This is... But then again, the Browns, I've been giving the Browns like my best overall grade in the draft and in the offseason for like the last 2 years, and yeah, we see how that goes so well when it translates to the field. But next up, defensive lineman Jordan Elliott out of Missouri. Okay, got a big boy there out of the SEC. Linebacker Jacob Phillips out of LSU. This was a third round steal. He could have went so much higher, but he didn't, and I thought this was a great pick there. So good job for them. After that, tight end Harrison Bryant out of FAU. Another owl there. This guy's actually very dynamic. This dude is a freak of nature. He is good. Like, I don't know how he fell this far either. He is a extremely talented tight end. We saw him in the combine. He has hands. He's very good. So for them to get him in the fourth round, steal. Center Nick Harris out of Washington. They had a beefy offensive line. I'm sure he was a big part of the reason why of their success this year. And wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones out of Michigan in the 6th round. This dude's actually pretty legit, too. I don't have any of his stats, but the guy is a possession receiver. Like, he's the kind of guy that you throw a 50-50 ball to. And realistically, he is a guy who can... He's aggressive. He's very aggressive, and I just love how he plays the position. So, overall, this was something I said. I've gone back and forth. I want to say I loved it because of, come on, Wills, Delpit, Phillips. They got some late-round guys that are actually really good here. And then you have liked it on the other end because you're like, well, okay. No, they need freaking secondary help. Their secondary right now, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, really, they got nobody secondary. Linebackers, they got one, and that's great, but they don't really have a whole bunch of help there right now either. Defensive line, well, they're solid on the defensive line, and they added defensive lineman, so I'm like, so I've gone back and forth with this, but realistic, okay, I'm gonna make up my mind. Here we go again. I can't help it. I feel like I'm being Mr. Nice Guy today, but I gotta stop saying realistically. That's annoying. I'm annoying myself by saying that so much. But it's a good way to pronounce this. I'm gonna go loved it because they addressed what they needed. Delpit, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a corner, but if they got him at safety, okay, whatever. They got an offensive lineman to help out. And overall, they actually got some pretty good picks. I guess you can say quality-wise, they got some good picks. So I'm going to go loved it. But if these damn Browns fall apart again this year, I'm going to go, wow, 3 years in a row that I said they had like the best draft and best offseason and whatever. I didn't say the offseason, but they definitely had a good draft. And please, I just hope that they do well with it. Mike, what you got?
Okay, so this draft probably more than most I'm going to nitpick because, well, this franchise has proven that they are more than worthy of being nitpicked given how, great their off seasons have been and how poorly the results have actually been. So, first overall pick, Jedrick Wills. Love Jedrick Wills. Excellent offensive tackle prospect. problem is that he played right tackle pretty much exclusively in college. The Cleveland Browns signed Jack Conklin in the offseason to be their right tackle. So something's going to give here. Either A, they're going to have a rookie who didn't really play left tackle in college flip over to left tackle, which is a wicked transition, or they're going to have a guy who's been an all-pro right tackle in the league flip over to left tackle. I love the prospect. I see the logic. I'm not sure about the fit. Grant Delpit I liked. I like Delpit. Jordan Elliott's a little bit more of a long-term pick because they do have talented defensive tackles, but most of them are only on 1 or 2 year deals, in all fairness. Jacob Phillips, good linebacker. If they need linebacker help, you were right about that, Larry. I completely 100% agree. Harrison Bryant, don't get because they just spent a ton of money on Austin Hooper and picked up David Njoku's 5th-year option. So you spent used a 4th-round pick on a number 3 tight end. Great. Awesome. And the last 2 picks I actually liked. I like Nick Harris. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones. Both good depth players at their positions. So I'm going to say I liked it, but the fit and filling the right needs, I don't think they quite accomplished that.
You know what? Once again, Mike does another great job of making good sense of this whole thing. Teran, what you got?
To be honest, I'm kind of borderline of loved it and liked it. I'm going to say I liked it. For the reason being, of their number 6 pick, Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think he is one of the most overlooked wide receivers in my honest and fair opinion. You know, not just because he comes from a Big Ten school, but, you know, I honestly thought he was going to go 1 pick above, which if you're looking at the draft, then you know who that pick is. But that was kind of a steal in that 6th round, considering they didn't have a 7th round pick. And then obviously Jedrick Wills really helps their team, considering offensive tackle, and he's a big boy from Alabama, and he's definitely going to protect Baker Mayfield. And Grant Delpit was definitely a great pickup for them. He's an up. Some people say he's a little but I think he's great. I think he's great, to be honest. And their defense also needed to improve as well. So I'm gonna go liked it, but it's so close to being loved it.
I was right there with the Teran. I can see that as well. So, the Dallas Cowboys! Alright, so I think Ashton's here in the chat room just having all kinds of stuff to say. So let's see here. So, do you guys feel CD? Like CD was... CD goat, wow. CD Lamb, that's hilarious. CD Lamb was I put the emoji of the lamb, was the biggest steal in the first round, or at 17 for my team. He says, I want to hear your thoughts on double dipping on the Raiders. Okay, so we'll get to there. But... also, he says, agreed Haskins isn't it. Does Smith have a chance at playing again? Ooh, that's a good question there. And Troy Pride is a good slot corner pickup. Can definitely be a plug-in player if you need him to be. I completely agree with all those things there, Ashton. So thanks for jumping in the chat room, man. That's what's up, Mr. Ashton, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, jumping in the chat room today, joining the founder and the host of Gloves Off, our combat sports show here at IE Sports Radio, Mr. Marcus Los. Great. So, Dallas Cowboys. This can be quick and easy. Like, seriously, I don't even have a lot to say. And I'll give you my final verdict immediately. Okay, so let's get down the picture real fast. First round, wide receiver CD Lamb. Why not? Why not? He was one of the best in the freaking draft. Why not? Corner. Okay, corner. Trevon Diggs out of Alabama. Why not? Another freakishly good player. Okay, why not? Defensive lineman. Neville Gallimore. Another incredibly good player. Those are 3 guys who I'm like, okay, Cowboys, you just hit it out of the park 3 times in a row. Those are all very good picks who I am so excited for the Cowboys to have picked up. Those guys can make differences. Okay, and if nobody has seen Gallimore play, this guy's a damn hoss, okay? Okay, then you get a little, Reggie Robinson. Okay, you're getting a little too many corners now. I know they do need secondary help. Regardless, though, player out of Tulsa, I didn't see a lot of him. I guess he's so-so. Then you get 2 players here later on that I thought was really cool. Tyler Biadasz, I don't butcher his name. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name at all. But out of Wisconsin, center, a big boy there. Maybe he was a part of the Red Robin Society. That was a couple of years, like last year or 2 years ago, where they were talking about in the Senior Bowl practice, where the big boys would go like eat over like freaking 9,000 collective calories together like every week or whatever at Red Robin. Maybe they continue that thing. I don't know, but decent pickup there. Big boy out of Wisconsin. Then Bradley Anae out of Utah, defensive end. This dude is good. He is a great edge player. He can set the edge. He can pursue on the outside. He can get to the quarterback. He's all you need at defensive end. He's exactly what you need there. Good pick. And then Ben DiNucci out of James Madison, quarterback. Yeah, I guess. I mean, why not? A little depth in there. Okay. This is something that I thought could be a big, like, a draft that could be just explosive, because the Cowboys, they seem to have done all the right things here. But overall, it's kind of tough when, I don't know, I mean, they lose Zeke at any point. He's still going to need some depth there. Kind of surprised they didn't pick up another guy back there. Who knows, okay? But overall, it was pretty good. Okay, so guess what? Nice guy, Larry. We do it one more time because of those first three picks. I think were three of the best players of those rounds. And honestly, those other two guys could have gone a little bit earlier. I'm gonna go loved it because those three picks right there were huge for me. Mike, what you got?
This pains me to say.
No!
As a longtime Redskins fan who has, well, let's just put this simply, no love lost for the Dallas Cowboys, I absolutely loved this draft for them. I did. Their pick of CeeDee Lamb was pure genius. Adding him to Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, that in a division that has, at best, okay secondaries, that was phenomenal. Trayvon Diggs is a starting caliber corner. They got him in the middle of the second round. Neville Gallimore is a great young prospect to develop behind some of their older defensive tackles. Tyler, I don't know how to pronounce his name either, Larry. I'm going to go with Biadasz. Sure, why not? And Bradley and I, if you tune in to watch back my show from Monday, were my two favorite picks in the 4th and 5th round, respectively. Forget about the 7th round pick. I don't even care about the guy who I've never heard of out of James Madison. I absolutely love this draft. They hit all of their needs. They got great value, great players. It makes me sad, but I absolutely loved it.
Ashton in the chat room says, I love to hear a Redskins fan say that. He says, say you loved it, Skins fan. That's what he says. Oh, that's hilarious. I can see. And yeah, it's true. It's true, Ashton. You just need another player back there. You're right. Don't sleep on Pollard. You're right. But gosh dang it, this is the NFL. You're going to need a lot of power. That offense is already good. And why not? You can get a mediocre running back behind that freaking offensive line who'll look like freaking Zeke, okay? Like, seriously, I'm just saying. That's the best offensive line in football. So, okay, good stuff there, Mike. What you got, Teran?
I loved the Cowboys draft. First and foremost, CeeDee Lamb, nothing more needs to be said. Amazing wide receiver. Second, Trayvon Diggs, they needed a corner. Third and foremost, Neville Gallimore, great defensive linebacker. Reggie Lineman, sorry. Reggie Robinson, the second, another good corner. And I like James Madison because I'm Ben DiNucci from James Madison, considering I'm pretty sure that's a FBS school, if I'm not mistaken.
You're learning. That's an FCS school, Teran. FCS.
FCS. Yeah. So yeah, FCS. That's an FCS school.
Mm-hmm,
I don't even know who the Cowboys' backup quarterback is. So I think that might be a promising pick. And also Bradley Anae and Tyler Biadasz, and like I said, Reggie Robinson, they're great. They're great as well. So I'm going to go love it. I definitely think the Cowboys struck gold, and they're already a solid team, and they definitely will challenge the Eagles. They won't make it easy on the Eagles. They're not going to be any pushovers.
No, this is
Rush, I guess, is their backup.
Well, I just feel like right now they need more power, guys. Like, you need more power. Like, you can't just be one-dimensional. And they have Zeke, but once again, we saw when Zeke missed a couple games a couple years ago, they suffered. I mean, they were good, but they suffered. So, I mean, Pollard is great. Pollard is great, but a running back would have been nice. So, okay.
By the way, I'm pretty sure we all pronounce the Wisconsin center's name differently. Just throwing that out there.
I think so. Sorry, dude, if you're listening. So next up, the Denver Broncos. All right, let's have some fun here. I'm not going to be an a-hole about this, I promise. So, well, first of all, really quick, let's go ahead and jump back in the chat room. And says, Ashton says, love to hear it. So, he says, yeah. So, okay, yeah, Cooper Rush. Okay, good stuff. Well, all right, well, backup quarterback, right? Quarterback? Okay, well, there you go. So, okay. Here we go, guys. Wide receiver. Out of Alabama, Jerry Jeudy. Freaking love it. The guy is exactly what you want. I mean, there was 3 wide receivers that went early who were all amazing. And you know something? He's going to do great. This guy, Jerry Jeudy, out of Alabama, is going to do great in Denver. I just hope that they have a quarterback to throw to him. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. Next up, wide receiver. KJ Hamler out of Penn State. He's so-so. He's not amazing or anything, but the guy's good. I mean, I'll give it to him. He's okay. Corner, Michael Ojemudia. Ojemudia. I really don't want to screw him up no more. I'm sorry. I really am. I've got to stop saying them if I don't know how to say it. But at least I gave it a chance. So this guy is damn good. Damn good corner out of Iowa. What does Denver need? Corners. I thought that was a great steal in the 3rd round. So that's a bump for me to love it, but not really just yet. Then you have Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU. He is dynamic. The guy can move. He's strong. He's a tough player. I don't know if he'll be a starter right away, but he can definitely have depth, and the guy is good. So, defensive lineman McTelvin Agim out of Arkansas, defensive lineman, SEC defensive lineman. He's good. Okay. Next up, tight end Albert Okwubonam. I don't know his name. Again, I have to stop doing that, but at least I gave it a try. Out of Missouri. Okay, big guy, big target. Big targets are always nice. As Alex Gaines would say, big targets are always easy for rookie quarterbacks, and well, they don't have a rookie there, but they're going to need some help at the quarterback position, so good pickup there. Linebacker Justin Strnad out of Wake Forest. He's alright, I guess. I mean, I didn't see a whole bunch of him, but there was nothing there that was like extremely exciting. Next up, guard Natane Muti. Well, out of Fresno State, another big guy there, and from what I understand, this guy's actually pretty damn good, so they got themselves a nice pickup there at offensive line. Wide receiver Tyree Cleveland out of Florida. Yeah, he's okay. He went later, and he's okay, and then they actually got a pretty good player in the 7th round, though. In the later 7th round, edge rusher Derek Tezuka. And this guy is good. He's out of North Dakota State. We all know North Dakota State. And realistically, guys, I can really tell you this. He may see some time in the rotation. Am I saying this because I love smaller schools? No. But he is damn good. And watch this guy get his chance. He's somebody who can turn a lot of heads and be that 7th rounder who can really be like, whoa. So, overall, guys, I gotta tell you, this is my very first we'll see. Reason being is because Jeudy is the guy here, but everybody else has a lot of question marks all over him, including that 7th rounder that I really like. So, I gotta tell you guys, they had a lot of picks. And it's not because I'm a Raider. I just think that there's a lot of things I could have addressed maybe more. I mean, I loved the corner out of Iowa. I thought him and Jeudy were the best picks. But after all of that, they just kind of went in a bunch of different ways. when they could have focused, I don't know, maybe on that, more on the secondary who needs more help. I mean, you think you have more, offensive linemen, you have tons of them already. I don't know. I mean, defensive line right now, they did address that, but I don't know, guys. Linebacker, I'm just saying, they don't have anybody solid there, so they could have wanted a couple different ways. There's a lot of holes to fill, and I guess as an excuse for them, it's hard to fill everything with just a couple with a few picks in every draft. So, okay, so I'm gonna go we'll see. So, Mike?
I'm going to go with liked it pure, mostly off of the Judy pick. A great pickup. It was the best receiver in the draft, in my opinion, or at least very close between him and CeeDee Lamb. And I think he'll start early and give a nice weapon on the offense. Hamler, I wasn't so enthused about. Ojamita, I wasn't so enthused about. Not that I don't think either will be great players. I just think the value wasn't great. And I think that's overall my theme, is that I don't think Denver got a ton of great value on their picks. Muti in the 6th round was one of my favorites for them. But overall, yeah, there's good depth here. I think they got good depth on the offensive line, some pieces in the defensive front 7. But overall, yeah, I just liked it. It was borderline, we'll see, but I think Judy, you'll get some good contributions out of, and I think you will have a stronger interior offensive line.
Okay, that sounds about right. Teran, what you got?
I liked the Broncos draft because, first and foremost, Jerry Jeudy definitely adds wide receiver depth to the Broncos, since their only well-known wide receiver was Courtland Sutton. And it also adds offensive depth overall to the Broncos. Now, obviously, their second-round pick left was a little I think Hamler's okay. I don't think he's the greatest, but he's certainly not the worst. So, honestly, they needed more wide receivers. That's what the Broncos need, because Courtland Sutton and a few of their tight ends weren't going to cut it. And Philip Lindsay cannot carry the team to the championship because, they don't have Peyton Manning, obviously. And, Drew Lock needs all the offensive talent and depth and weapons he needs, because he's still growing and learning. So I liked it.
I can see that, and definitely.
And to add, I think their defense picks were okay, but I don't think it's going to. It might be groundbreaking. I don't think to improving that infamous Denver defense, but we'll see.
Absolutely. All right, so we have here the Detroit Lions, and this one. Okay, ready? Hold on. 1 minute. Go. I can do this in a minute. Jeff Okudah. Awesome. Yes. Good job. Running back. Andre Swift out of Georgia. You know what? That's awesome. Julian Okwara out of Notre Dame. Gosh damn it, this guy is freakishly good. Jonah Jackson out of Ohio State. Out of Ohio State. I give that a golf clap. That is great. Logan Sternberry out of Kentucky. That has question marks all over it, but he's depth, okay? Well, wide receiver Quintez Cephas out of Wisconsin. You know what? He was actually pretty good. I really like that pickup there. Jason Huntley out of Mexico State, running back. I'm not sure who that is, guys. I can be straight up honest with you guys, but I guess more depth there. Defensive tackle John how do you say that? Penasini, I believe, out of Utah. He was this really big-time defensive tackle. I saw Utah, and then I didn't. And then I saw Utah, and then I didn't. I guess I didn't pay too much to the defensive line, but they're saying he's a big-time monster there. And then you have another guy who they picked up on the defensive line, Jason Cornell, Ohio State, which, of course, you can saw they had a pretty decent defensive line this year as well. So it's a little bit over a minute and 10 seconds. My apologies, y'all, but that's pretty much all I got to say. Is that those are my thoughts on every one of those, and I'm gonna go liked it because they got who they needed at corner. They definitely did. Okwara was a huge pickup there, but you think they might get this is just my thoughts. Overall, why couldn't you just get maybe a linebacker or two? You're trying to make it a defensive juggernaut, right? Right, Matt Patricia? I don't know. Just my thoughts. So I liked it. Mike?
I liked liked it as well. I thought the first 3 picks were excellent. And then, I mean, I can't be mad. They went for good offensive line depth, a couple extra weapons on offense, some depth on defense. I thought day 3 was unimpressive. Their 4th through 7th round picks, I thought it was good, not great. And Jeff Okudah, well, don't get me wrong, I love Okudah. He was the pick that they had to make because value-wise, just nobody else there really made sense for them. But this team actually has some pretty good corners, so I think you give it an A because it was the pick they had to make, but it was more bad luck that's kind of how the direction they had to go more than anything. Because, like I said, Detroit actually has decent corners. They picked up Desmond Trufant in free agency. They have Justin Coleman, a couple of good young guys. But overall, I liked it. Like I said, mostly day 3 was just kind of unimpressive.
Yeah, I totally agree. Teran?
I want to say I liked the Lions draft. Obviously, Okudah is Okudah. He's definitely hands down the best corner they could have gotten, and to boost the Lions defense because they pretty much did. They pretty much needed that because especially since their coach is a former defensive coordinator for the Patriots, so it's a great fit. And then I think getting DeAndre Swift was definitely a huge plus for them. But it kind of makes me wonder, why draft a running back when you have Kerryon Johnson and Bo Scarborough from Alabama? So it's kind of a head scratch right there. I kind of question that. Maybe they'll use Johnston or Scarborough for trade bait. I'm not sure. But I kind of like the round 3 picks. They were okay to me. And I'm somewhat of a fan of Quintez Cephas. So I liked the Lions draft.
Good way to put it. Okay, so next up we have the Green Bay Packers. And this one, I don't know. This was yeah. So, first up, they take Jordan Love, which I still don't understand why the Patriots traded out of the first round and didn't get him, but I know that they're probably breeding their young quarterback right behind Aaron Rodgers. We all heard in the draft how he was the same exact age. Aaron Rodgers got drafted when Brett Favre was the same exact age at 36 years old back in 2005. Okay, cool. But I don't know. I guess it could have addressed something else. I don't know. Maybe a little more, defense because you guys lost all your freaking linebackers. I'm just saying. I mean, they did get a linebacker, and he's good, but I don't know. Then you had A.J. Dillon, running back out of Boston College. Good athlete from what I saw, but I don't know too much about him. Tight end Josiah Deguara out of Cincinnati. I think that he's underrated, and he's actually a very good pickup, and Aaron Rodgers is going to utilize him a lot. Kamal Martin, linebacker out of Minnesota. He's good. He's okay. He's depth. I don't think he's going to be starting, but he's depth, I think. And offensive line, John Runyon out of Michigan. He's actually a pretty solid pick they got in the 6th round. Then they had center Jake Hansen out of Oregon. Okay. Good player there. And offensive tackle Simon Stepaniak, I believe, out of Indiana. Okay, they beefed up the offensive line. And you know what? Yes, they lost Balaga this year. It's been tough. They've had some bumps, but why not go why? Why would you go offensive line early? The Love pickup, I don't know. I don't necessarily love that. Even though he's a great athlete, I just think he could have gone somewhere else instead of sit behind Aaron Rodgers. But once again, who knows? They could be trying to season him behind Aaron Rodgers. So, anyway, then safety Vernon Scott at TCU. Value pick right there in the 7th round. Good safety and a great, well, I can say good, edge rusher for Jonathan Garvin out of Miami. So, this is another one, guys. I gotta say we'll see. I still don't get why they would take Love, and I don't know. I get once again, and I think that's all the reason to say we'll see is to see how he pans out, and everybody else. A couple really solid picks in there who I think could get some good playing time. But other than that, I think there's going to be a lot of depth. I just think the offensive line should have really been addressed a lot, especially with the MVP like Aaron Rodgers. So, all right, Mike, what you got for us, man?
So this Green Bay Packers draft list right here is the very reason that the we will see category exists.
Yep.
This is the epitome of it. If you were to put we will see for a definition of we will see in a dictionary, this would be a picture of the draft. Because not only were the picks, debatable, we'll say debatable, all but by my best guess, at most they will get 3 guys out of this draft who contribute year one. I think A.J. Dillon, you get early contributions. I think Kamal Martin, you get early contributions. And then probably one of the offensive linemen, don't know which, maybe Henson or Runyon. But I think at most you get 3 contributors out of this draft year one. So this is a draft that we won't even know if they got anybody out of until year 3. We'll see. I don't know about the Jordan Love pick. There were some of my mocks where I had the Packers taking Jordan Love in the first round, purely because of value, but trading up to get him, that's a tough one. This is just a tough one. This is just a we'll wait and see. We'll just keep it simple.
It really is. I agree. Teran?
Okay, so I also got to go with we'll see. I understand why they didn't draft wide receiver, though. They have Alan Lazard, they have Devontae Adams, and they have Devin Funches. All are good wide receivers. Are they great? Not really, but they're not bad. I mean, that would pretty much... That's my defense for not drafting a wide receiver, but I just don't know. I really question why they took Jordan Love in the first round. I honestly thought they were going to take a wide receiver. They drafted no wide receiver. I know they drafted a tight end here and there, but it just lacked. It really just lacked for me. And you're right, Larry. I think their offensive line definitely needs improvement. I'm not saying Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback. He's a good/great quarterback. I just think Rodgers needs help wide receiver wise. That's me, though.
Thank you.
We'll see.
Thank you. Texans. The Houston Texans. All right, y'all. They didn't have very many picks. They didn't. They really didn't. And this is quick and easy. Second round. Ross Blacklock. Guys, we had him going in the first. So this, to me, was a good pick. That he fell in the second round, and they got a good value player there. He's going to be a starter, guys. I think he's going to jump in and be an instant starter, and if not, be heavy in the rotation. This guy is a damn good athlete. I was watching his highlights. I didn't even see some of those games, all right? TCU, good pick, okay? Good pick. Jonathan Grenard, okay? Or however you're going to pronounce it. Greenard. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but dude, you're a freaking beast. So forgive me for pronouncing your last name wrong, but this guy is an athlete. And you know what? Yeah, no more Clowney. They still got Watt, but, Merciless is a beast at linebacker, but you're going to need somebody else off that edge. I think he could contribute a lot. I don't know if he'd be a starter, but once again, heavy rotation. Tackle, Charlie Heck. Well, what the heck? I'm just kidding. But you know what? Why not? They got a good offensive lineman, or an offensive lineman here. Don't know too much about this guy, but they added some depth. John Reed, Penn State. This was good. I don't know how this guy fell to the fourth round, but man, did they get a steal. Isaiah Coulter out of Rhode Island. That's once again FCS school. Of course, Teran and I do cover plenty of FCS. I guess he went under the radar, because I didn't see a lot of him, but I didn't even see any of his highlights or anything. But regardless, I got him rated as a B here on CBS, and courtesy of CBSSports.com. And you know what? Hey, it's something to possibly build on. I mean, something to throw in there late. I mean, the guy he seems pretty solid, and that's it. That's all they had was 5 picks. Overall, Blacklock, Grenard, and Reed. Those I absolutely loved, with 2 question marks in there. So if to me, more than half of it I loved, I gotta say, I loved the entire draft. Mike, what you got?
This draft is actually a we'll see to me.
Okay.
Blacklock, I like Blacklock. Greenard, I like Greenard, but I don't know if he's going to be ready day one to make a big impact. He probably will have to because Houston doesn't have a ton of edge rushers after losing Jadeveon Clowney. But I don't know if he's quite the immediate impact guy that they need. And then Heck, Coulter, Reed. I don't know much about Reed. You sound like you know more about him than I do, Larry, but I don't really know much about him. For that, it's a we'll see. So the last three are we'll see. This could be a really good draft. I don't think it's really going to end up being a bad draft, but I'm going to wait and see how it really turns out.
That is very fair. Very fair. Teran. If Teran's still there.
Sorry, y'all. So I'm going to say we'll see as well. I'm going to be real with all the Texans fans. If it weren't for that trade, the Texans would not have had a first or second round pick. So honestly, the Texans should be thanking their lucky stars from the Cardinals that they were able to negotiate a solid deal. I still don't agree with the Texans trading away Hopkins, but they got a good defensive lineman. But everything else is a little. I mean, John Reed is. He's probably the second best, if I had to say, if not a little behind Jonathan Greenard. But this is a we'll see. Not just because they had 5 picks, but just because they traded away practically everything, as Cat Williams would say. So we'll see.
I gotcha. So, makes sense, guys. Okay. Next up, Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to breeze this one once again. This is going to be another minute. Ready? Go. Michael Pittman! Why not? Yes! I'm biased. I don't give a crap. I love this. Why? Because this guy deserves a home and he's a hell of a player. But overall, he's not the best receiver in the draft, but pretty damn good. Running back, Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. I loved this guy. I wanted him to go in the first round. He didn't. He went in the second. Watch him what he does. Watch what he does in Indianapolis. I cannot wait. Him and Phillip Rivers, watch. This offense is going to be something to watch, guys. Safety, Julian Blackmon out of Utah. This guy's a hard hitter. He plays aggressive. He's aggressive. I enjoy watching this guy play. Good pickup. Jacob Eason out of Washington. Well, why not? You have Phillip Rivers there now. Build some depth behind him. Let's see. If Phillip Rivers leaves in 2 years, hell, Jacob Eason, this guy can pick up a lot. Why not? That's a good pick. Okay. Offensive lineman, Danny Pinter out of Ball State. This guy's actually good. Good footwork. Tough guy. Big dude. Awesome. Defensive lineman, Robert Windsor out of Penn State. He's okay. He's not the greatest, but he's okay. Corner, Isaiah Rogers out of UMass from the Minutemen. I don't know anything about him, so I'm not going to even attempt to act like I know anything about him. But okay, that's a question mark. Wide receiver, Desmond Patman out of Washington State. He was actually pretty good, guys. I thought he was a good player, but once again, I could be biased because I'm being the Pac-12. And then, of course, safety / linebacker, Jordan Glasgow out of Michigan. I didn't see a lot of him, guys, so I can't really be too honest there. So, you know what? Because the fact that Pittman went there, because the fact that Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor is now there helping carry the rock with Mack, they got a younger guy in there, because Eason, they picked him up. You know what? I can't say I loved it, but I definitely liked it. Mike?
So, I'm going to go with liked it as well. The second round was phenomenal. Pittman and Taylor, brilliant picks, excellent picks, guys who are going to be immediate contributors on an offense that really doesn't have a ton of weapons. When you break it down, really, not a great depth at receiver, a few good running backs, but hey, you've got some quarterbacks there that like to throw to their receivers, their tight ends. They like to throw it all over the place, and you've got a good offensive line, so add some weapons. The rest of the picks were solid, not ridiculously amazing, but solid. I like the Jacob Eason pickup. I like the Desmond Patman pickup. I'm very surprised they didn't go for a cornerback. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little surprised they didn't go for a younger... Well, actually, no, not really surprised that they didn't go for a younger edge rusher, although they could use somebody to take the mantle from Justin Houston in a year or two. And they have some guys who are pending free agents. So overall, I liked it, but I thought they could have addressed some different needs.
Good way of putting that, Mike. What you got, Teran?
Well, I loved it because of Michael Pittman. That's it. Okay, I'm just kidding. I really loved the Colts draft just because, despite not having a first-round pick, they really boosted their offensive options. Pittman, is a great wide receiver, and Jonathan Taylor is a very, very solid running back. And then Julian Blackmon is also really good, a pretty good safety as well. And Jacob Eason, although they have Rivers and they have Jacoby Brissett. Don't know what's going to happen with him though. I think that's also a good pickup. Many people kind of knocked Eason, but I will honestly say this: Eason definitely helped Washington do well in the Pac-12 North, which that's a tough division to win in when it comes to winning the whole Pac-12. And all their other picks are pretty good as well. So overall, despite not having a first-round pick, I love the Colts draft.
Okay, good stuff. Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a lot of picks to get through, so I'm going to do this as fast as I can with hardly any commentary. Corner, C.J. Henderson out of Florida. You know what? That's what we thought. Good job there, Jacksonville. Edge rusher, Clayvon Chaisson, guess what? Out of LSU, another solid pick. So far, I love it. Wide receiver, Laviska Shenault out of Colorado, another guy that I loved this pick. This guy was freakish at Colorado. Awesome stuff there. Then we start getting to the question marks. Okay. Defensive lineman Devon Hamilton out of Ohio State. Offensive tackle out of St. John's, by the way. He was awesome in the Senior Bowl. He started, man. Ben Barch, Division III. Okay. I love that already. We saw Ollie Marpet do this and be a starter for the Buccaneers. Now he's blocking for Tom Brady. Okay. He came out of Hobart a couple of years ago, Division III. We got another one of those offensive linemen. So awesome stuff there. Corner, Josiah Scott, Michigan State. Awesome. Okay, linebacker Shalik Quarterman out of Miami. So-so pick. Safety out of Auburn, Daniel Thomas. So-so. Wide receiver Colin Johnson out of Texas. It was okay, too. Quarterback Jake Luton out of Oregon State. He was actually pretty good. I saw a lot in him that was good, but he's not going to be the starter or anything. And then tight end Tyler Davis out of Georgia Tech, which I don't know much about him at all, guys. Overall, if you pick up a a Division III big boy, Division III player at all, okay, doesn't matter what position, he's got to be pretty damn good, right? To even get to the Combine or even get to the Senior Bowl or to even get to this point. So a lot of those are great picks. Those are 4 picks I absolutely love. But for the rest of them, a lot of question marks. I'm going to go liked it. I guess I can see if you guys say we'll see, but just for the fact that for the couple things that I mentioned, I got to say I liked it. What you got, Mike?
So I liked it as well. I understand the logic behind C.J. Henderson. He was probably the second best corner in the draft, and cornerback was a really big need for them. So I understand the logic in that selection. But the value, I still question it. Overall, really good. I thought they added some much-needed pieces in the secondary, some really good depth there, some good weapons. I'm surprised they didn't address the offensive line a little bit more. They don't have phenomenal depth at that, so just one offensive lineman, even a good offensive lineman, was a little questionable to me. I'm also surprised they didn't pick up a running back because there's been a lot of chatter about what's going to happen with, oh my God, why am I blanking? Leonard Fournette. There we go. Thank God. I would have been embarrassed if I had forgotten that name. A lot of chatter about what's going to happen to Leonard Fournette, either during the season or after the season. So I'm surprised they did not go with some insurance policy there.
Good analysis. Teran?
So I almost wanted to say we'll see about the Jaguars picks, but I like the Jaguars picks. First and foremost, I'm surprised they took C.J. Henderson at the cornerback with their first round pick. And in addition to their number 9 pick, their number 20 pick from the Rams, Clayvon Chaisson, definitely helps out their defense, considering they lost Jalen Ramsey to the Rams, and we all know how that worked out for the Rams. Sorry, Rams fans. But overall, I think, for the most part, the Jaguars really stepped their game up and addressed some of their needs. And I liked their draft, honestly. And also, I'm really liked how one of my favorite picks was Jake Luton from Oregon State. He's a quarterback, and I think he could definitely learn from Gardner Minshew, just in case Minshew Mania has to take a little break. But I think Jake Luton could learn well from the stash. We'll see. But I liked the Jaguars draft.
Alrighty, Kansas City Chiefs. Running back here, so we have a couple picks here to get through. Now we got to start going real fast, guys. We're getting close to about an hour. So running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you know what? Good stuff out of LSU. Solid pickup. Linebacker Willie Gay, Mississippi State. Another solid freaking player. Another solid player. Tackle Lucas Niang out of TCU. This guy was really good. Then we have a couple question marks here. Not bad, though. Let's see here. Alexarius Sneed out of DB out of Louisiana Tech. Okay. Michael Dana, I believe that's how you say his name, out of Michigan. He's defensive end. And corner Thackerus Keys out of Tulane. They gave him a B here on CBS.com, so, I mean, he's pretty good. But overall, this is one that I gotta say I definitely liked it because of that first round pick. Was like, oh yes, that is great. Those first 3 picks were awesome. But overall, 3 positions that maybe they needed, like in the secondary and on defense, but I don't know. Like, I just kind of felt like Andy Reid's an offensive guy. The defense is already pretty solid. I don't know. Maybe you could have thrown an offensive lineman or 2 or maybe even 3 in there because you can't have too much depth. You have valuable weapons and valuable players in the offense. You got to protect those guys. So, I don't know. I liked it overall. So, Mike, what you got?
So I'm going to say we'll see on this one, and it's not a bad we'll see. It's simply because only Clyde Edwards-Helaire he's the only one who's going to contribute to the team in year 1. The linebacker, Willie Gay, he's going to be buried on the depth chart behind a couple of other more experienced linebackers. Same with Lucas Niang on the offensive line. And Kansas City's not a team that needs immediate contributors. They're playing the long game with these guys, and it's perfectly understandable. So it's just a question of we'll have to wait and see if when they need these guys 2 or 3 years down the road, they'll be available to contribute. But I am surprised they didn't go with a cornerback earlier because that's probably one of their bigger need areas.
I can see that, absolutely. And even though they got the stud there with Mahomes, I mean, hey, backups are, you're going to need them. So, alrighty, what we got, Darren?
So, yeah, this is a we'll see as well. Not just because I'm a Chargers fan, but just because the Chiefs are pretty much a complete team. They're Clyde Edwards-Helaire is definitely great at the running back position, but honestly, the Chiefs have a lot of running backs to start off with. They have Damian Williams, Darwin Thompson, and I think Thompson's brother. I think they also have DeAndre Washington, the former Raider, as well. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire definitely gives the Chiefs a safety net when it comes to running backs. But that's about it. But I could still say the Chiefs are still one of the teams to beat this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
Chargers fan.
Without a doubt. Sorry, because you're out there, Teran. But, okay, Los Angeles Chargers. It's Teran time. So, here we go, y'all. 6 picks this year. Not so bad. Quarterback Justin Herbert. We thought they'd take a quarterback early, either him or Tua Tagovailoa. Well, they picked up Herbert because the Dolphins went ahead and picked up Tua. Good job. You know what? They got the quarterback they needed. Let's see if he can get out there and start. I think he'll be the starter, of course, this year. Linebacker Kenneth Murray. Freakishly awesome player, and they got him in the first round. That, to me, is a great first round for the Chargers. Running back Joshua Kelly out of UCLA. Good pickup. Wide receiver Joe Reed out of Virginia. Good pickup. Safety Aloha. I don't want to butcher his name, but Gilman out of Notre Dame. He's okay. He's good, but I mean, I don't know, maybe an offensive lineman in there to help out would have been better. And then wide receiver KJ Hill out of Ohio State. Another really good athlete, but still maybe some depth to help out because, you just got a new quarterback that you kind of want to, keep. And offensive linemen do get tired, y'all, so rotations are kind of important. I'm going to say I liked it. I guess there's nothing more to say. I guess I liked it. Mike, what you got?
All right, well, I'm going to go quick because Teran, I'm sure, has a lot to say about this. I liked it. I can't really fault any of their selections, but my one remark on it is I don't understand how a team that has had years and years and years of offensive tackle woes, not offensive line entirely, but particularly the offensive tackle position. They have had woes for years and years and years, and they did not draft an offensive tackle. I don't understand it. But like I said, I can't argue with any of their picks. I thought the value was good. They filled needs, so I liked it. But that's the one thing that's biting at me with this one.
I can see that. Teran, the floor is yours.
All right, Chargers fans, I'm going to just start by saying this. Do not attempt to attach any of this to me whatsoever. I have nothing to do with this opinion, with this blasphemy, this idiocy, such ridiculous nonsense. But I'm going to say this. I liked the Chargers draft. First and foremost, for all you Chargers fans saying, oh, we don't like Justin Herbert, you are dumb as dirt. Justin Herbert, and for those that are bashing Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. Otherwise, the Chargers wouldn't have selected him. Sure, he's 6'6", but the dude is a mobile quarterback. Would you rather have a mobile quarterback like him or a walking statue like Philip Rivers? So for you people that are bashing Justin Herbert, that is blasphemous. I can't believe you. How dare you? How dare you? Second, other than that, I really liked how the Chargers traded up to get Kenneth Murray. That was big right there. And Kenneth Murray definitely helps their linebacker corps. And overall, they are great. Their other picks were great. You know, Joshua Kelly's great. Could learn under Justin Jackson and Austin Eckler. Joe Reed is also a good punt returner as well. And KJ Hill has never dropped a pass that's been thrown more than 25 yards. Their only questionable play, or questionable pick was Alohi Gilman. Because I think their defense is already good as is. But, you know, I think we'll see. He'll definitely learn from the Chargers defense as it goes on. As for what Mike said, you know, the reason why they didn't get an offensive lineman because obviously after the second and third round, offensive linemen are really pretty much that's just my opinion. But, you know, I just don't think it might have been worth it. You know, their only questionable pick was round 5, but other than that, I like the Chargers draft.
Okay, well, we liked it across the board. Good stuff. There's another team in Los Angeles, and they are called the Rams. So, we'll go ahead and get quick and dirty here, courtesy of CBSSports.com. I'm getting my sources here, and the grades are helping me out a little bit with the players I don't know. Running back Cam Akers. I'm just saying, Mike might have a lot to say about this one. Good pickup. You know, I thought he was a good player. Of course, Mike being an alum there. Good stuff. Overall, I like that pick. Wide receiver, Van Jefferson out of Florida. Another good player. Edge rusher, Terrell Lewis out of Alabama. Another freakishly good player. Safety, Terrell Burgess out of Utah. Another freakishly good player. We're up to 4 freakishly good players, and then it gets dropped. Okay, see, tight end, Bryson Hopkins out of Purdue. He's good. He had a good combine. He's a good player. I guess it's another target for Goff. Safety, Jordan Fuller out of Ohio State. He's a good player. I don't know why they got him as a C here. I think he's a little bit better than that, but it's okay. I think they got some value in the 6th round. Linebacker Clay Johnston out of Baylor. Okay. Don't know too much about him, but we'll see. I guess that's a we'll see. See here. Kicker Sam Sloman out of Miami, Ohio. Okay. And then guard Tremaine Ingram out of Clemson, which I thought they would have given him a better grade too, because that offensive line was pretty dang good this year. So overall, this is another I liked it. Those first 4 picks are awesome, but then when you want to go like value, once again, you have a struggling offensive line there, guys. You might want to have picked maybe 2 or 3 total offensive linemen because, you know, you kind of need that. So, with that, I mean, I'm going to say here, because those 4 picks, I liked it. I would like to say I loved it. Because, once again, there's some good picks there. But those first 4 picks were good. They weren't great. I guess they were good. As Mike would say, they were great. They're good for what they had, what fell to them. But to make this thing overall, I just think like 3 more offensive linemen would have kind of been nice to add for depth. So I'm going to go liked it. What you got, Mike?
I'm going to go liked it as well. I was pretty close to actually loving this group, and part of it is bias because, like you said, Cam Akers from Florida State. He was the only Florida State player taken, so I have to be biased there. Van Jefferson, good, not great pick. Definitely addressed the need. Terrell Lewis, I mean, the Rams needed an edge rusher, and the fact that they got one of that quality in the third round was excellent. And then after that, the value kind of drops off. I agree with you, Larry. I thought they should have addressed the offensive line earlier. I don't know why they particularly needed to double up on young safeties. I think one would have been perfectly fine. Not that either of those guys are bad, but, did you need two necessarily? I don't know. But, overall, I liked it. And I think Cam Akers will contribute right away. Lewis will contribute right away. At least one of the safeties will contribute right away. And taking a kicker, underrated look because they did lose Greg Zuerlein in free agency this year. So that's an underrated little addition there.
I like it. Good stuff there, Mike. All right, what you got for us, Teran? If Teran's still there. Okay.
Sorry. Had a little technical difficulties. I liked the Rams draft. I almost want to love it, but here's something that will probably irk Rams fans. Terrell Lewis kind of dropped in value because of injury concerns. Now, again, Rams fans, do not attempt to attach to me of this whatsoever. I am not a part of this infamousy, this blasphemy, and this idiocracy. Terrell Lewis definitely is a great edge rusher, but injuries kind of hampered him. Other than that, he's definitely great for the edge. And Cam Akers replaces Todd Gurley. Van Jefferson is another great target for Jared Goff. And Sam Sloman is the kicker that replaces Greg Zuerlein. So, overall, I liked the Rams' draft. They were so close to being loved, like, you could sniff it. I will say that, I'm sorry to say this, Chargers fan, but I liked their draft more than the Chargers draft. Don't kill me, Chargers fans.
You cracked me up. All right, so we have an hour to go. We got to get through 14 teams, so rapid fire. Here we go. So, Miami Dolphins. Here we go. So, overall, this was just, it was weird. So, let's get through every pick really fast. So, Tua Tagovailoa, great pickup. Overall, awesome job. Austin Jackson out of USC. I loved it. I don't know why they gave him a C- here. I guess I'm just a biased USC fan. Good job. Noah Igbeneghu. I don't know butcher his name again, but here we go. Sorry. Auburn. Awesome job. Great pickup there at corner. Robert Hunt, Louisiana Lafayette. Okay, good. They got the offensive lineman there. You're going to need him. Raquan Davis, defensive lineman out of Alabama. That's okay, I guess. They may need him. Safety, Brandon Jones out of Texas. Okay, I guess, once again. Guard, Solomon Kinley out of Georgia. Great pickup later on. I'm just saying, this offensive line for Georgia, awesome. Defensive lineman, Jason Stowbridge out of North Carolina. So-so. Edge rusher, Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. This dude's a steal. Long snapper, Blake Ferguson out of LSU. Okay. Cool, I guess. I mean, cool. And then wide receiver Malcolm Perry out of Navy. Okay, cool, I guess. I'm just saying. I mean, big picks that they picked at the end. Overall, the only reason why I'm going to say this, guys, I know you're going to probably be like, what the hell? But realistically, guys, the Dolphins they're not bad. They got Tua. They got what they needed. They added depth a few positions. Guys, don't look at me funny, but I loved this. I did. Walks the Dolphins play really well this year. I think that's going to happen. Mike, what you got?
So I'm actually going to go on the opposite end from you, Larry. I'm going to put this in the we'll see category, and here's why. So I like the Tua pick. The Tua pick's understandable, but there is a little bit of cause for concern from the injury, which we knew was coming in with Tua. It was kind of unavoidable, so that just kind of comes with the pick. Austin Jackson, a little bit more of a project at offensive lineman, but I did have them taking him in my mock draft. But he's a guy that's going to need to develop a little bit. And this is where I was going to give Teran a shout out because he is the only person who I saw in any mock draft ever have Noah. I'm just going to call him Noah I because I'm not going to bother with that that last name. Noah I going in the first round. So I will give major props to Teran for making that call, because that was a nice little prediction. But the Miami Dolphins' two highest paid players are cornerbacks. They have already dedicated a lot of money to the cornerback core, and now they have a first rounder at cornerback. It seems a little excessive to me, just saying. And then Robert Hunt, another offensive lineman. Solomon Kinley, another okay, that's a little heavy on the offensive line. And then a group of guys on day 3 who are a little bit more projects. I don't know why you draft a long snapper. I feel like you can find those guys in the undrafted. No disrespect to long snappers by any means, but I feel like you can find those guys in the undrafted free agent ranks. So it's a little surprising to me when anybody drafts a long snapper. So I'm just going to put this group in the wait and see. There's a lot of projection. There's a lot that has to happen, in my opinion, for this group to be really, really good.
Okay, what you got, Teran?
Well, I will start off by saying this. I am salty that the Dolphins took Tua before my Chargers did. But I will say this. I liked the Dolphins draft. On paper, it says I love it because of Tua, Austin Jackson, fight on. But I totally agree with Mike's little spiel about Noah I. They have a bunch of corners on their team, and yet they drafted another corner. I can see that being a learning experience for Noah, so he could learn from those corners. But why do you need another corner? And in the first round, too. If it were a later round, I wouldn't knock it, but come on, man. But, however, I did really like their Robert Hunt pick and Raekwon Davis pick as well. I still honestly don't believe that they would draft a long snapper. I mean, I guess it's unique, and maybe because he's from LSU, that's the reason why. But honestly, I like the Dolphins picks. I'm interested to see what the Dolphins will do. I'm still salty that they took Tua, but who knows? As long as I wish nothing but the best for Tua going forward in Miami.
Awesome. Well, do me a favor, guys. 1 minute. I know it's going to be tough, but we got to get through this, okay? So 1 minute, and I'm literally just going to say what I think off the bat, and then I'm just going to read the picks and kind of just go really quick. So 1 minute on the clock, and begin. Okay, so next up we have the Minnesota Vikings. So they had a huge draft. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson out of LSU. Cornerback Jeff Gladney out of TCU. Offensive tackle Urza Cleveland out of Boise State. Corner Cameron Dancer out of corner, once again, out of Mississippi State. Defensive end DJ Wonnum out of South Carolina. Defensive tackle James Lynch out of Baylor. Linebacker Troy Dye out of Oregon. Harrison Hand out of Temple. Corner out of Temple. Wide receiver, KJ Osborne out of Miami. Offensive tackle, Blake Brandel out of Oregon State. Safety, Josh Medalis out of Michigan. Defensive end, Kenny Willekes, I believe, out of Michigan State. Quarterback, Nate Stanley out of Iowa. Safety, Bran Cole II out of Mississippi State. And offensive lineman, Kyle Hinton out of Washburn. Okay, this is literally a minute. Guess what? I liked it. Why? They fulfilled what they needed. They got plenty of picks, and I think they replenished in every place they can get. They got depth. Overall, guys, this is great. The first 3 picks were absolutely amazing. And you know what? The Vikings, I think they got what they needed. Mike?
I agree. I really liked it. I want to love it because, with the draft with 15 picks, they definitely addressed all of their needs. But, overall, I feel like they might have been able to acquire some better value here and there. It's a borderline love. And that's all I got. I think they addressed all their needs. They got tons of players and a lot of guys to build around.
Absolutely. Teran, what you got?
You pretty much, again, you stole the words right out of my mouth, Mike. I liked it, but I'm very close to loving it because they had quantity over quality, but I really they stole Justin Jefferson. I'm surprised he did not go earlier. So that was a big, big steal for the Vikings. And overall, they just addressed everything that they need. But I just liked it. I didn't fully love it, but I liked it. You know, they had a very good draft.
I think they did as well. So, next up, we have here the New England Patriots. And let me just finish getting this up here. So we're going fast now. I like this. Even when I'm behind, I like that, so I gotta catch up. So, okay, next up, the New England Patriots. This was probably one of the most questionable drafts, I think, of the entire draft. They traded out the first round. They didn't get Love. Okay, and then the first round, their very first pick, they get safety Kyle Duggar, out of Lenore Ryan. Let me just say this really quick, y'all. Don't forget, I looked this up to make sure he wasn't drafted or undrafted, but he was undrafted. Malcolm Butler was out of Division II West Alabama. Just saying. So, they had here safety Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Ryan. Edge rusher Josh Uche out of Michigan. Edge rusher Anthony Jennings out of Alabama. Tight end Devin Asiasi out of UCLA. Great pickup there. Tight end Dalton Keene out of Virginia Tech. Plitziker Justin Rowasser, I believe, out of Marshall. Guard Michael Onwenu, I believe, out of Michigan. Offensive tackle Justin Heron out of Wake Forest. Linebacker Cash Mulai, I believe, out of Wyoming. And center Dustin Woodard out of Memphis. Overall, guys, I want to say we'll see so bad. And I want to say I liked it so bad. I really do. But overall, guys, the only player who I think is going to be like an immediate impact is going to be Uche. Other than that, Asiasi could be the next guy up. But who knows? Can Duggar be a starter? Can he be that impact player like Malcolm Butler was? We'll find out. But guys, I've got to go with we'll see. Mike?
This might have been the weirdest draft class of the year. A lot of picks, a lot of intriguing players, but you took 2 tight ends in the 3rd round. You took a lot of project guys. You took a kicker in the 5th round, which ended up being your 6th overall pick. You got some good offensive linemen, but this is a we'll wait and see. This is a group for 3 years from now, and it's almost making me think the Patriots are trying to tank this year to try to get Trevor Lawrence. I'm just throwing the thought out there.
That's a possibility. Teran, what you got?
Yeah, to me, this is kind of we'll see. You know, I get the quantity portion, considering they made a lot of trades, honestly, and you know they got like the 2nd and 3rd round pick from the Chargers for the Patriots' 1st round pick. I'm surprised they didn't draft a quarterback this draft. You know, they obviously signed an undrafted quarterback, but I'm surprised this team wasn't the one that took Jake Fromm. But you know, we'll wait and see. You know, the 2 tight ends is all obviously questionable, but you know, ever since Gronk left, they just aren't a tight end team, so we'll see how it goes for the Patriots.
Agreed.
But I do like the tank for Trevor thing.
Tank for Trevor. Oh no, not another one of those dumb things. Tank for Tua, tank for Trevor. Oh. I hate those so much.
Tank for Tua worked.
That was so
exactly.
dumb.
They do what they get.
Oh my gosh. New Orleans Saints time. They had 4 draft picks. This was a great pick. Center/guard Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, who I just really like this guy. He's a hell of a player. Another hell of a player, Zach Bond out of Wisconsin. I remember hearing Bucky talking about him. I forgot his last name, but talking about him during the Senior Bowl. This guy was amazing. I didn't even know him until the Senior Bowl. The guy's amazing. Tight end Adam Trotman out of Dayton. Another guy. The guy's from a freaking FCS school, so you know he's got to be worth it, man. He got there, so he fights, he wants it, he's hungry. And then quarterback Tommy Stevens out of Mississippi State. Okay, maybe some depth there behind Hill and Breeze. Cool, that works. But overall, guys, out of all 4 of those picks, I loved 3 of them. What does that mean? I loved it. I did. Mike?
So I'm going to say I liked this draft because I thought their value on their first 3 picks was really good. They got a really good, the best interior lineman in the draft, one of the better linebackers at a steal in the 3rd round, really good tight end. My only qualm about it is that I don't know how much immediate impact these guys are going to have, because New Orleans has 3 solid starting interior offensive linemen, they have several really good linebackers, and they have a couple of really good tight ends. So I don't know how much immediate impact they're going to get, but I liked the value of their picks. It was excellent.
Absolutely. What you got for us, Teran? And there goes Teran again.
Okay, I'm on. Okay, so I liked the Saints draft, not just because they didn't have too many picks, but, like Mike said, the first 3 picks were pretty solid. Ruiz was a really great addition for their defense, and, Zach Bond obviously helps them more defensively. And the Saints are already a complete team as it is. My only question is, why would you draft Tommy Stevens and then re-sign Taysom Hill and then sign Jameis Winston? You have 4 quarterbacks on your team, and I don't know, man, but I liked the Saints draft overall.
It was a nice little draft. I loved it. I did. So,
hence the word "little."
Yes, absolutely. All right, the Giants got a whole bunch of players. So here we go. First round, Andrew Thomas out of Georgia. We knew he was going to be a pick early, and he was. Great job there. Safety, Xavier McKinney out of Alabama, another great player. Offensive tackle, Matt Pert out of UConn, another great player. Corner, Darnay Holmes out of UCLA, another great player. Shane Lemieux out of Oregon, another great player, a guard there. And then we kind of have a little bit of a drop-off, a little pickup at the end, too. Linebacker, Cam Brown out of Penn State. Okay, I don't know too much about him. Linebacker, Carter Coughlin out of Minnesota. I thought I'm going to give him an A, so he must be pretty damn good. Linebacker, TJ Brunson out of South Carolina. Don't know much about him. They gave him a C- here. Cornerback, Chris Williamson out of Minnesota. They gave him a B- here. Obviously, I didn't see a lot of Minnesota football, but I know they were pretty dang good, so those guys could have a big part of the reason why that defense was so good this year. And linebacker Tay Crowder at Georgia. Overall, guys, they went after the backers. They know what they need. They addressed a couple offensive lineman spots. They got a hard-hitting safety. They got a monster to be an immediate starter in Andrew Thomas. They got some backups in the secondary. Guys, I love this. I can't see any other way the Giants could go. They really did well. They're going to help protect their young quarterback. They got some great players already, like Will Hernandez a couple years ago. They got some good pieces on the defense. Overall, guys, I can't say anything else. I loved this. I think the Giants are taking a step in the right direction. Mike?
I'm going to say I liked this draft. The first 2 picks were excellent. They addressed immediate needs with immediate contributors. Andrew Thomas and Xavier McKinney will both be starters for this team day 1. Matt Pert, Shane Lemieux, good depth on the offensive line. I don't know why you need, and I agree with your point, Larry, to adding depth, but I don't know why you need 4 day 3 linebackers. And it's not like, this guy's an edge player and this guy. No, they're all stand-up linebackers. They're all like 4-3, the 3 linebackers. So, I thought it was a little strange that they just kept picking linebacker after linebacker after linebacker in the 7th round. But hey, maybe they plan on cutting all their veterans and just starting all rookies at linebacker. Hey, maybe that's the case. I liked it. I thought they could have used maybe a weapon or 2 on offense. Given all these picks. Maybe a receiver at some point, but some of these guys we'll see. Some of these guys I loved, so it lands on like.
That's a good way of putting it. Okay, next up, what you got for us, Teran?
Yeah, I want to say I'm going to say I liked the Giants draft, considering they didn't draft a receiver, but they addressed their defensive needs. Because did you see how bad that defense was last year? Basically their defense just gave points away. You get points, you get points, you get points, you get points, you get points. Everybody gets a bunch of points. And, the Giants actually are a great team offensively. They have good offensive depth like Barkley and Sterling Shepard, and Daniel Jones is a great quarterback to start off with. But, I think they just needed to address defense, and they did. So I think they could have drafted a receiver or 2, but I'll give them I liked it.
Good stuff. Okay, big shout out to Matt Haynes, by the way, in the chat room here of IE Sports Radio. Big shout out to you, brother. Can't wait to have you back on air, man. Okay, so the New York Jets. Okay. Offensive tackle, Mekhi Becton Big monster, the biggest offensive lineman in the draft. We knew he was going to go early, and he did. Wide receiver Denzel Mims out of Baylor. They lost Robbie Anderson. What a way to make up for it. Well, to get a young guy in there, I like that a lot. Ashton Davis, safety out of Cal, another big pickup. And then for me, after this, guys, it's a drop-off. Edge rusher Jabari Zuniga out of Florida. Okay. Running back LaMichael Perrine. Or Perrine, no, pronounce his name, out of Florida. Okay. Quarterback, James Morgan out of FIU. Okay. Offensive lineman, Cameron Clark out of Charlotte. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's pretty dang good because of a lower-end FBS school, but okay. Cornerback, Bryce Hall out of Virginia. They have him as an A here. I didn't see a lot of Virginia football, but okay. And then punter, Braden Mann out of Texas A&M. Okay. This one is a simple one for me, y'all. Besides the first two, or actually the first three, there's a lot of question marks, guys. A lot of question marks. I think Becton will be a first starter. I think Mims will definitely be in the rotation. Davis could probably start as well because the rest of the secondary, I guess, I don't know. I mean, they're strong. They are really strong. It's a very good defense. But regardless, guys, I'm going to go, and I was borderline liked, or we'll see. Well, the only reason why I want to say that I liked it was because the fact that they know they got their quarterback. They know they want to protect him. They know they want to give him a weapon. They did. And another weapon, they did. And they got another safety who could actually be an immediate impact in the rotation. So that's the only reason why I'm going to say I liked it. Other than that, guys, let's say it was very close to we'll see. What you got, Mike?
I liked it as well. There are a lot of good picks here. Denzel Mims was a very good value on day 2. The Ashton Davis pick, I like the pick, but I also acknowledge that it's out of a little bit of necessity given the Jamal Adams situation they've got going on. I feel like if they knew they were set in having Adams, they could have used that pick elsewhere, but it is what it is. They knew they needed a safety, so they made the play and they got the safety. There are some good players. There's some good potential. You make a good point protecting your quarterback, and I think in Becton and potentially eventually down the road Cameron Clark, they'll have some good guys. They'll have a couple of good protectors. The James Morgan pick in the 4th round, that's what really flips this down for me. It could have maybe been a love, but I don't know much about Morgan, and he went before Jacob Fromm, and I think right around Eason, so I don't know. I don't know about that pick, and that's what makes it a like for me.
I'll take it. What you got for us, Darren?
This one's actually going to be a we'll see for the Jets. I think it's unique that they took Becton with their first round pick, but he will need to slim down, as Mike said last week. And Denzel Mims with their second round pick is very questionable since he's kind of had past injuries. So, but Ashton Davis pick is a safety net for in case they lose Jamal Adams. And I totally agree with you, Mike. I was very surprised. I didn't even know who James Morgan was. I was like, who is James Morgan? Is that the whiskey or is that a type of of alcohol? But overall, I'm sorry, Jake Fromm fans, but I just think James Morgan was a little questionable. So this is a we'll see for me. And they drafted a punter. No offense, punters.
Wow, way to step on his curios, man. Way to piss in his curios there. I mean, I'm just kidding. It's all good, man. Well, I'll tell you right now, this is great. I love the pace. We're getting somewhere, guys. I'm loving it. So let's keep it up. All right, so Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so we go wide receiver Jalen Reagor in the first round. I thought he was a great pick. And you know what, guys? They gave him a B here. I thought he was an A player, good athlete. But other than that, guys, seriously, this thing fluctuates. Quarterback Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma. Well, they certainly know they need a quarterback somewhere in there because Wentz, I don't know if he's the guy. I'm going to say that again. Wentz, I don't know if he's the guy. Yeah. Linebacker Davion Taylor out of Colorado. Gave him an A. Hell of a player. I didn't see a lot of him, but good job. Good pick there. Clemson. Well, we saw a lot of this guy. Kevon Wallace, a hard-hitting safety. Good job there. Offensive lineman Jack Driscoll out of Auburn. Okay, good. Some depth there to help out in the offensive line. I like that. So far, I'm loving it, guys. I'm telling you. So far, I'm really loving this. Wide receiver John Hightower, Boise State. I love it. Great player. Great hands. Linebacker Sean Bradley out of Temple. I love that as well. Another good player for some more depth. They need that. Wide receiver Quez Watkins out of Southern Miss. I don't know much about him or the other three guys, as a matter of, or the other two guys. Offensive tackle Prince Tega Wanogu, I believe they say his name, out of Auburn, and linebacker Casey Tohill out of Stanford. Regardless, guys, it's enough for me to say I loved it because I feel like they addressed what they needed. And overall, they may have got a backup that could really help out, and they got a safety who can really help out. Maybe not be an immediate starter, but this guy can be in the rotation. I'm going to tell you guys right now, looking at this, I know there's some question marks in there. Like I said, I'm being a nice guy, like I usually am, I guess, with this whole thing. But I'm going to say I loved it because you know what? They got some guys in there who are question marks to be really good. So, what you got, Mike?
I'm teetering on this one because there are some picks in here that I really like, but ultimately I'm going to put this one in the we'll see category, mostly because of the Jalen Hurts in the second round pick. With the second round pick, I like Hurts. He was a very good quarterback prospect, but the Eagles, and a lot of the Eagles' success depends on the health of Carson Wentz, which is a we'll see aspect. So if Carson Wentz stays healthy throughout the rest of his playing time, then this pick becomes irrelevant. If Carson Wentz gets hurt and Jalen Hurts has to come in and help lead this team, then the pick makes sense. So it's really up in the air whether they're actually going to get value out of that. The rest of the draft, I mean, they got some good players. Some of the value was a little up and down. I like the Prince Tega. Again, I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to give it a shot. In the late 6th, I thought that was good. But I think it's the Jalen Hurts pick and then the value of the rest of the draft that puts it in a we'll see. I'll have to see how these guys actually develop and contribute for the Eagles.
Good stuff there. Okay, what you got, Teran?
I'm also going to put the Eagles draft in the we'll see category. First and foremost, why would you pass on Justin Jefferson? What are you doing? I'm not trying to knock Jalen Reagor, but why? Justin Jefferson is a beast at wide receiver. I know people say never take wide receivers in the first round, but the Eagles need receiver corps. Their receivers, other than Zach Ertz, and Deshaun Jackson, but are basically non-existent. I honestly thought they would have taken Justin Jefferson. This was the biggest eye-opener for me. However, Jalen Hurts, I've heard, will be used as a dual-threat quarterback, considering, he also could be running back as well. And he also provides a safety net for Carson Wentz getting injured, considering no offense, Eagles fans, but Carson Wentz is kind of a little frail in my opinion. Other than that, we'll see about everyone else.
I can see that. Okay, next up, Pittsburgh Steelers. Second round, they didn't have first round. They have Chase Claypool. This, to me, was one of the best picks of the entire freaking draft because their quarterback is 1,000 years old. Sorry, Ben. But, he's definitely, maybe a few years. Just saying. But still, they got him a nice weapon. Edge rusher out of Charlotte. Alex Heisman. Okay. Highsmith. Sorry. Highsmith. Okay. I didn't see a lot of him, so I don't know. They gave him C here on CBS.com. Okay, cool. Running back, Anthony McFarland Jr. out of Maryland. Good running back. Guard, Kevin Dotson, Louisiana Lafayette. I didn't see a lot of him, but they add some depth to the offensive line. They're going to need that. Safety, Antoine Brooks Jr. out of Maryland. Another really good player out of Maryland. And then defensive lineman Carlos Davis out of Nebraska. I thought he was way better than a 7th round pick. So overall, guys, I like this because they did what they needed and they got what they got. I think they addressed everything they needed with the few picks that they had. So I'm going to say I like this a lot. And the reason why it's not loved is because, I don't know, I think they could have done a little bit better in that second and that third round. I mean, nothing against Alex Highsmith, but there could have been some other edge rushers out there. I don't know. And even though McFarland, I guess he was pretty well deserved, but I don't know. I think him and maybe Brooks. Brooks is a hell of a safety, but I guess, I don't know. I hate to pick on Highsmith, but yeah, maybe they could have gone a little different there, maybe a different route, but maybe this is something in him that I didn't, I don't know, but that's my pick. I'm going to say I liked it. What's up, Mike?
I'm going to put them, I'm teetering back and forth between liked and we'll see, but, I'm looking at the rest of the draft and I don't have anybody else who falls in the we'll see category, so I'm going to go ahead and say we'll see. compete with these guys. Mostly Chase Claypool, fantastic physical tools, but still a little bit of a project at wide receiver. And same with Alex Highsmith, a fantastic athlete, but a little bit of projection needed for those top 2 picks. I do think McFarland, Dotson, Brooks, and Davis are all, at minimum, good depth guys. Best case scenario, good rotational players. But it's to be determined if the Steelers actually get a starter out of this draft, or did they end up with a group of role players, specialists, depth guys? That's the we'll see component.
Okay, that works for me. Okay, what you got for us, Teran?
I'm going to put this in the we'll see category as well. I mean, Chase Claypool is decent, I want to say. I don't think he's better than Juju. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Notre Dame fans, but fight on all the way. Other than that, Chase Claypool will definitely try to earn a spot at the wide receiver position. I do want to see how Anthony McFarland will do, considering, he's actually the son of Booger McFarland, and, if he ever gets a start on Monday Night Football, I can't see Booger McFarland being a little bit of a homer for his son. But overall, for the Steelers, we'll see. I'm surprised they did not draft a quarterback. They should have drafted Jake Fromm, to be honest. But that's just my thing.
Actually, that's a pretty good... Yeah, actually, I could see that too, Teran.
However, I could also see the Steelers also signing Cam Newton, because, again, they do need a good quarterback, and no offense to Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph, but I don't think they fall into a good quarterback category.
Well, and don't forget, Cam Newton wouldn't be very far away from the giant they already have. Just saying, that could be a good place for a landing spot for him too, but I don't know if he's going to want to sit behind Ben. I don't know. But all right, so the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, so I'm going to make this quick. Really quick, because only a few picks. Okay. Defensive tackle, Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina. Wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State. Offensive tackle, Colton McKivitz out of West Virginia. Tight end, Charlie Warner out of Georgia. And wide receiver, Juwan Jennings out of Tennessee. Apparently Jennings was a steal because they gave him an A on CBS.com. But overall, guys, I thought it was... I mean, Ayuk and Kinlaw are the only ones who made me like it. Now looking at that grade for Jennings, I'm certainly liking it. But overall, I just didn't have a lot of picks. I know that. Kinlaw was certainly the best option at that point early on, and so was Brandon Ayuk. I think the entire draft depended on those two right there, of course, because that's it. They had two early guys and then a 5, 6, and a 7. Overall, I liked it because of those two. I think it could be immediate starters. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Not Kinlaw. Kinlaw is depth. Ayuk could see the field. He could see the field. He's not a starter, but I think he'll see the field in that heavy rotation. They gave Jimmy G another weapon. I liked it. What you got, Mike?
I'm going to say I love this draft, and I'm going to tie in an added element to this. Not only did this team get a very good defensive lineman in Javon Kinlaw, a very good weapon in Brandon Ayuk, a potential swing tackle backup in the 5th round of the Kivitz, and depth at with Charlie Warner and Juwan Jennings. They also made a trade on day 3 of the draft, which they only traded draft picks, so that's why I tied this in. They traded a 5th round pick. They traded a 5th round pick and then a 3rd round pick next year to the Washington Redskins to get left tackle Trent Williams. That move is what makes me love this draft, because on draft day, not only did they get some great help on the defensive line and at receiver, they got arguably the best left tackle that they could have acquired, and they got it for a very reasonable price. So I loved it, in part because of the players they got, but I give them a bonus point. They go from liked it to love it because of the Trent Williams trade.
That, yes. I can't change it now. But you know what? Yes, I see why you did that. What you got, Teran?
I definitely think this was also a loved it draft for the 49ers. It's tough to say considering they're a complete team, but Kinlaw definitely helps them. The Trent Williams trade helped them, and Ayuk gives Jimmy G another option offensively. And the Niners are already a strong team as it was, as seen last year. So I don't know. I don't really know why they needed another tight end. Maybe for offensive tackling purposes. And I guess Jawan Jennings can be another good receiver, but he's gonna be so far behind. But we'll see. But overall, I love the 49ers draft.
All right.
I will also say on the tight end front, word out on Charlie Warner out of Georgia, is that he's a very good blocker. So I think that might have been the big appeal for him in the 6th round.
You know what? That is awesome. Well, too late for me to change it, but I can totally see why you guys loved it. Okay. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks. This was... I liked it. There are some we'll see pieces in here, but overall, I think they got what they needed. So here, courtesy of CBS.com. Okay, linebacker Jordan Brooks, Texas Tech. Edge rusher Darnell Taylor, Tennessee. Guard Damian Lewis out of LSU. Tight end Colby Parkinson out of Stanford. Running back DJ Dallas out of Miami. We have here defensive end Alton Robinson out of Syracuse. Wide receiver Freddie Swain out of Florida. Tight end Stephen, I don't know how you pronounce it, Sullivan out of LSU. The craziest part about this is CVS actually gave that last pick an A- out of LSU, and the rest of them are not A's at all. They're B's and C's. I'm not going to go off of that, but that's kind of funny. I'll tell you right now, this is awkward. I don't know. This is different. I'm not going to spend time on this at all, guys. I liked it because they addressed what they needed. They needed an offensive lineman, maybe just one. They got a guy in there he's a national champion, just saying. They got an edge rusher who could or could not be, who knows. They got a linebacker for some depth in there, and who knows, he could actually turn out to be pretty dang good. They got another running back in there, maybe for some depth, but maybe, who knows, maybe Carroll saw something in him. Swain, he's not that bad. He's actually pretty dang good out of Florida, okay? Sullivan, he's a national champion. I'm just saying, there's a lot in here that says I like, and you know what? I'm going to say I like. What you got, Mike?
I'm going to go with I liked as well, mostly because I've learned from years past that I cannot judge the Seahawks draft fully until further down the line, because they'll take guys where they want them, when they want them, and they're not going to care about value or what we say. Jordan Brooks is going to be a good linebacker, and also you can definitely tell that they're worried about losing Jadeveon Clowney because they drafted 2 defensive ends, one early and one later on at the end of the draft. I liked it. I thought they overloaded on tight end a bit. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good draft.
Okay. What you got for us, Darren?
I liked the Seahawks draft as well, primarily because they drafted a tight end from Stanford. They drafted 2 tight ends. One in round 4 being Colby Parkinson, and then the other being Steven Potato Sullivan from LSU. So, but they did boost their defense. Their defense isn't the Legion of Boom from a few years back, but it's starting to get back up there. They needed all the defense they can get, considering the NFC West is loaded.
Alrighty, so there we are. So you liked it, Darren?
Yes, I liked it. Did I not say that? I'm sorry.
It's all good. No, I think I skipped it because I'm over here trying to dance around, seeing how many teams we got. So we got 4 teams left. So we got perfect timing. 26 minutes to go. We can do that with 4 teams. So here we go, guys. So next up here, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady's new team. Tom Brady's new team. So I gotta tell you right now, out of the gate, I loved it. Why did I love it? Because everything they did. I'm gonna piggyback here off of Mike, because I didn't think about adding the other things. They got freaking Gronkowski. The guy is probably still in tip-top shape. I know he's got some injuries, but the guy is freaking good. So they got a tight end there. And they also got Cameron Brate. They got guys. There, okay? They have lots of great players. They got Mike Evans. I forgot what other receivers they have. Regardless, they have some good players there, okay? And then they went and added probably the best tackle, probably the best offensive lineman in the draft, in Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. Then they got safety Antoine Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota. They gave him an A- here. Once again, I didn't see a lot of Gophers football this year, but they were really good. They were like, 7-0 for a while? So yeah, it's awesome. He's probably a big part of that defense. Running back, Keyshawn Vaughn out of Vanderbilt. They gave him a D+ here, so basically I don't know much about him. Wide receiver, Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota. Another great player here. They gave him an A- here. Defensive lineman, Khalil Davis out of Nebraska. And he was also, another Davis. So the Davis twins went there. So good stuff. Or the Davis brothers. Good stuff. Linebacker, Chappelle Russell out of Temple. And running back, Raymond Calais out of Louisiana Lafayette. Overall, guys, I loved it because, gosh dang it, you had all those pieces. You went and got probably one of the best players there now in Tristan Wirfs. You went and got two guys out of Minnesota who can be immediate impacts, and a weapon for Brady. I mean, really, this just says a lot, guys, and a player on defense. I loved it. Why? Because there's just a lot of hype building around this team right now, and I just feel like they're going to really feed off of that as well. So, guys, I can't help it. I'm going to feed into the hype. I loved it. What you got, Mike?
I'm going to say I liked it. Now, if they had stopped after round one, I would have absolutely loved it because the Tristan Wirfs pick was absolutely brilliant. The value was good. The fit is excellent. Fantastic. Antoine Winfield Jr. in the second round. Now, he's an excellent prospect and, definitely worthy of a second-round pick. But there's a but to this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2018 draft and the 2019 draft drafted 6 defensive backs. 6 of them. How many young defensive backs do you need? How many guys under the age of 25 can you physically fit into one secondary? Well, Tampa's going to find out because they just added. They now have and this is including Justin Evans from 2017. They have 8 defensive backs on rookie contracts. It's very affordable. I'll give them that. But good Lord, how much youth do you need in the secondary? Apparently all of it. That's Tampa Bay's philosophy. Other than that, I like the pick. That's my only qualm there. Further down, Keyshawn Vaughn, good running back, good depth players. It was good. I liked it.
Okay, fair. What you got for us, Teran?
I liked it, and first and foremost, the Buccaneers seem to really like their Big Ten teams, considering half of their picks this year are from Big Ten schools. One being from Iowa, one being from Minnesota, another being from Minnesota, and one being from Nebraska. And that's 4 out of 7, so that's over half. Anyway, I will say this. The Buccaneers did a great job drafting Tristan Wirfs. I think they could have gone with another offensive lineman, but either way, I like it. I liked their draft, considering they needed a better offensive line because they have a walking statue as their quarterback.
You're cold-blooded, man.
It's the truth.
By the way, math lessons with Teran Rodriguez, everybody.
I know! My bad. I was just buying time to get the next team up, my bad. But absolutely. So, we have 2 teams to go. Pretty sweet here. We actually made a really good timing, guys. Actually, no, we have 3 teams to go because there's one here that I am just... Yeah, of course, my team. But we do have here the Tennessee Titans. Now, this was different. So let's get through this. We have offensive tackle Isaiah Wilson. Amazing. Great player there. They gave him a B+ on CBS.com. I thought he was an A+. Okay? Great player. Cornerback. Christian Fulton out of LSU. Another great pick. Running back. Darrington Evans out of Appalachian State. They have defensive lineman Laurel Murchison, I believe, out of North Carolina State. quarterback Cole McDonald out of Hawaii, and defensive back Chris Jackson out of Marshall. Let me just say right now, those first 2 picks are absolutely amazing. The rest are question marks, so don't know about the Appalachian State guy or anybody else, but I think Fulton could be an instant starter, or at least be heavy on the rotation, and I think Isaiah Wilson's going to start, guys. So, like I said, I liked it. There's a couple question marks, but I've just got to say I liked it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. What you got for us, Mike?
I liked it as well. I think it's tough because it's tough for it. I think that Tennessee simply needed more picks to address all of their needs. So, and that's a tough thing to just do on draft day. Oh yeah, it's simple enough to just say we'll trade back and acquire more. It's not that simple, but I think they did pretty well with what they had. You do add a starter. I think Wilson actually starts out his career at guard for the Titans, is my actual expectation, because they have some pretty good tackles there. Or, one of their tackles will end up at guard. Fulton is a good cornerback. Aarons gives some nice depth. I actually like Murchison. Fun fact about Murchison, I actually did some research on him. He actually, in 2 years with NC State, he had, if I can remember these numbers, I think 23 tackles for loss and 12 sacks over 2 years. So that's some pretty nice production. And then 7th round, they had some good depth guys. So I liked it, and I think they got contributors. I just think they needed to acquire more, and it was going to be difficult for that to happen, and it just simply didn't.
I can totally see that. What you got for us, Darren?
To be honest, I actually liked the Titans draft. I'm so close to saying I loved it. I mean, Wilson is a great addition to protect Ryan Tannehill. Fulton, I imagined would have gone first round, but still a great pickup at the cornerback position, considering I think one of the Titans corners might walk out as a free agent this year. I'm not sure, but the one that kind of boggled my mind was Cole McDonald being drafted at quarterback, considering they have Tannehill, but I don't know who their backup quarterback is, considering Mariota went to the Raiders, which is your team, Larry. I like Cole McDonald, though. I saw his gameplay in the Hawaii Bowl, and he was just dynamite. So hopefully Cole McDonald does develop into a star, but we'll see. But overall, I like the Titans draft.
Okay, that works. Okay, so we have 2 more teams left. They just happen to be both Mike's and my team. And it's funny, I saw you guys talking about if I skipped it or not. I don't know how they're going to put it. The dang Golden Knights want Vegas. They don't want the loss in there. They want Vegas. The Raiders, I saw them put actual Vegas in there, like Las Vegas. So I don't know. Maybe we could have put it earlier with the L or
the Sin City Raiders.
Yeah, so I just put Vegas. Okay, so I put there second to last, and then of course the Redskins, alphabetical order. But it's okay; they'll land here, and it's a good spot for us because we're almost out of here. And hey, why not? So I can weigh in on my team really quick, and here we go. So here was our draft, guys. Raider fans out there, Raider Nation. So here we go. Wide receiver Henry Ruggs out of Alabama. Awesome. Cornerback Damon Arnett out of Ohio State. Awesome. The guy is a freaking beast. I know he's had, I know he's not the best corner in the draft, but who cares? I thought we were going to get another receiver. You know what? I'm glad we got him instead. We have a lot of weapons, but I'm glad. I thought Gruden for sure was going to get another receiver. You heard me last week, guys. But honestly, I'm so glad we got somebody to help out in that secondary. He's a good player. I saw some highlights. He's a good athlete. I got to look more at him. Running back and wide receiver. Running back / wide receiver Lynn Bowden out of Kentucky. Yes! This guy's a dual threat. He's a Gruden type of guy. Maybe that's the reason why we took Arnett instead of another receiver, okay? Wide receiver Brian Edwards out of South Carolina. They gave him an A on CBS.com, and, well, let's just say maybe that wide receivers coach has got something going over there, because don't forget, Deebo Samuel also gave him South Carolina last year. Okay, they have another guy, 2 more Clemson players, and I love there's a tweet I saw that said Clemson East, because it's true. Mike Mayock and John Gruden absolutely love, you can tell they love what Dabo Swinney's doing over there. You can tell last year, Mullins and Farrell, and now here we are with Tanner Muse out of Clemson, linebacker Tanner Muse, and guard John Simpson. So we got some depth there at the linebacker and on the offensive line. And then another corner, Amik Robertson out of Louisiana Tech. And they actually gave him an A. I don't know anything about this guy. And they gave him an A for the last pick there. So you know what, guys? Like, seriously, that right there to me says so much that he is... such a solid, like we got such a solid draft, guys. We only had 1 through 4, traded around, did a lot of stuff, and you know what? I think we did a great job. For the first time in a very long time, guys, I can tell you right now, I actually loved this draft. Mike, what you got?
I actually loved it as well, with a caveat, and I will get to that caveat in a second. But I thought Henry Ruggs was a very reasonable choice. I thought he was one of the top receivers. Maybe not the top receiver, but he definitely adds a dimension to the Raiders' receiving corps. Same with Bowden, an awesome offensive weapon, and Brian Edwards. They knew they needed receiver help, so they went out and they got receiver help. They also knew they needed help in the secondary, so they went out and they got a lot of help in secondary with DeMon Arnett and Amik Robertson. I don't include Tanner Muse on that list because I actually just saw today, just earlier today, I saw that they're actually going to have him convert to linebacker. So Tanner Muse will actually be a outside linebacker, a weak side linebacker for the Raiders, which I like equally as well. I think they needed help there as well, and I think his immediate contribution will be as a special teamer, but I think he will be good. He'll make a good defender in time. And then John Simpsons and Amik Robertson, I thought they got good value. Now the caveat is that they were receiver heavy. Well, there's one very important component to the success of wide receivers, and that is the quarterback position, which is still a little up in the air for the Raiders. So if the Raiders can figure out their quarterback position, either this year or maybe next year in the draft, or they finally decide Carr, Mariota, one of the two, then I think we will look back at this group in 3 years and say that it is excellent.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I can see that. I can totally see that same exact thing. So, great job with the analysis, and thanks for saying you loved it, because I can't believe I actually loved it for the first time either in a long time. So, great stuff. Teran, what you got?
So I actually loved the Raiders draft as well. I feel so filthy saying that, considering I'm a Chargers. I will address this, though.
Welcome to my world, Teran. Welcome to my world.
I will address this, though. I'm surprised Bleacher Report gave the Raiders a C- for their draft.
Wow.
I kid you not. I will send you the link and after this, Larry, and then I will... I don't believe it either, you know. I definitely think they loaded up on wide receivers, and Lynn Bowden was a great pickup considering he's a running back and a wide receiver, and you know I think
and a quarterback.
Yeah, and he's also he might be a good punt returner, so he might be the ultimate package that the Raiders need. Overall, I think the Raiders just addressed everything. You know, obviously they maybe went a little too crazy with the corners, but you need as many good corners as you possibly can, because obviously they have, I think his name is Isaiah Johnson at cornerback for the Raiders, but, you know, more corners, the better. You know, Arnett is a great pick, and this Amik Robertson guy, he sounds decent.
Okay, well, it works for me. Thanks, guys. Loved it across the board. And that's what I'm talking about. So next up, we have the Washington Redskins. Mike, there's a reason why I liked it. There's a reason. I want to say I loved it because you guys got the defensive line from hell. Okay, I'll be right down. I don't know. If somebody runs on you guys, someone has some explaining to do. Okay? Seriously. I mean, wow. Your defensive line now is nasty, okay? Edge rusher Chase Young out of Ohio State. Then you have running back Antonio Gibson out of Memphis. I thought he was amazing. Okay, I thought he was amazing. Don't forget, I loved their really cool jerseys. I think everyone knows me from 3 and Out College Edition talking about their really cool jerseys. I love their jerseys, but their jerseys, I mean, you know, but I just don't know if that was the actual need at that position. You can please correct me, Mike, for sure. Okay, tackle Sadiq, I believe, or Sadiq, I don't butcher his name, Charles out of LSU. Wide receiver Antonio Gandy Golden out of Liberty. Apparently he was really good. They gave him an A here. Remember, Liberty actually did really well this year too. Offensive lineman Keith Ismail out of San Diego State. Good player there. I'm a San Diego State fan, so I'm biased. Linebacker Kaliki Hudson out of Michigan. Safety Cameron Curl out of Arkansas. And defensive end James Smith-Williams out of NC State. Honestly, as much as I love those really cool uniforms, and I think Antonio Gibson is an amazing player, I don't know if he broke any records. I forgot what happened this year, but they won their conference this year, the American Athletic Conference. They won a bowl game, I think, this year. They played the game in Memphis, by the way. I think it's Memorial Stadium, is what they call it. But regardless, they did a great job. Regardless, though, Mike, please, I don't know what's going on in Redskins land right now. Who the heck is that quarterback, and who's the backups? And if I don't know, there's a reason I may switch to Levitt. I guess I already said so I can't change it. But I kind of just think somewhere in there, a quarterback maybe from somebody could have been like hey, we kind of need you to maybe just back up. So if you could do anything first before you go over the draft, Mike, what's going on with the quarterback position? Who are the guys over there?
Well, so at quarterback, it looks like they're going to lean with Dwayne Haskins, who they drafted in the first round last year.
Mm-hmm.
They also traded for Kyle Allen from the Panthers, so it looks like they're going to roll with those two moving forward. Interesting fact, and I won't include this in their grade, they also picked up Steven Montez out of Colorado as an undrafted free agent, which I'm very curious about. I'm really interested to see how that works out. So to me, I'm glad they didn't take a later down quarterback, because honestly, they've got guys who are maybe. So to me, if you were going to take a quarterback, you needed a Burrow, a Tagovailoa, or a Herbert, or else it wouldn't have made a difference to this quarterback core. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. But for the regular draft, I liked it. I think Chase Young, again, kind of like Joe Burrow, was the obvious pick. So kudos to the Redskins for not messing that up. Awesome. Well done. The Antonio Gibson pick. Now, this is a pick I have a lot of conflicting feelings about, because I like Antonio Gibson. And kind of like Lynn Bowden, I think he can be an awesome weapon. But this team, the Redskins, had been shopping Trent Williams, and they eventually traded him to the 49ers, but they had been shopping Trent Williams all draft weekend. They were trying to get a trade going for him. At that pick, you had Josh Jones out of Houston, a very good offensive tackle prospect. If you are committed to getting rid of Trent Williams, and you need a really good potential left tackle, I don't know how you don't make Josh Jones that pick. I don't know how you pass on that type of value. But I'm conflicted because, like I said, I also really like Antonio Gibson. So we'll see on that one. I mean, we don't have a really great left tackle going into the year, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Sadiq Charles, I like Sadiq Charles. I think he's going to be a really good offensive lineman, but I don't think he's going to be a left tackle. I think he settles in at either right tackle or guard, which kind of unfortunately for him, we have a right tackle and some good guards, so I don't really know how that's going to flip. The only thing I could see happening is if for some reason they moved right tackle Morgan Moses over to left tackle and plugged in Charles at right tackle. That's the only thing I could see that would maybe be a big shakeup, but that would be it. I like the Gandy Golden pick, really good big receiver, which will be nice opposite Terry McLaurin. I like the Keith Ishmael pick, a nice good interior offensive line depth, and the last three picks were kind of meh. But overall, I liked it because I agree with the Chase Young pick, and I think they got some good players, but they failed to address the elephant in the room until the elephant in the room was already no longer in the room.
I love the analysis.
Also, I'll throw one last thing in there. So they traded away Trent Williams and Quentin Dunbar this offseason for essentially Kyle Allen, a 5th-round pick, and a 3rd-round pick next year. I've never heard of a team getting less out of an all-pro left tackle and a rising up-and-coming young corner in trades than that.
And that is how Mike does his thing. Great job, Mike. Great analysis, man. Awesome. And I think your team's going to do a lot better this year, man. I just want to say that. I think both your teams are going to do a lot better this year, and I hope all 3 of our teams do a lot better this year. Teran, what's your take on the Redskins, man?
So I also liked the Redskins draft. Obviously because of Chase Young. The best player whose name isn't Joe Burrow. I still find the Antonio Gibson selection a little questionable, but maybe he'll become a surprise pick, and maybe he'll do Memphis proud. Obviously, I think, and Keith Ishmael is also a great player as well. I think that was a steal at the center position, but overall, I think the Redskins are still a work in progress. I can also answer why they didn't take a quarterback. Obviously because of Dwayne Haskins, but don't they still have Alex Smith as well, or is he still recovering? I'm pretty sure he's recovering, though.
Nobody's inside the Redskins organization is saying anything about whether Alex Smith will be ready or not. He's recovering. He's on good pace. It looks like the injury will not have a major impact on his life after football, which is fantastic news for him, his family, and all those around him. But in terms of him playing football again, it's still up in the air.
Okay, well, I still love to see him back on the field.
Me too.
It would just be, I think every football fan in the world would like to see him back on the field. It would be the greatest thing since Teddy Bridgewater's return to the football field.
I can see that as well. And, well, gentlemen, that is gonna do it. Look at that. We made it with 5 minutes to spare, like a little bit under 5 minutes. And I am really, 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 really happy we got through all of it. That was amazing. Now, with 1 minute, because we're going to get, of course, our outro. But I got to ask, in maybe 20 seconds, who do you think personally are your absolute winners of the draft? Mike, start.
Ooh, absolute winners. Oh, man, this pains me to say it. I hate to say it. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, I just absolutely loved their draft. I think they hit all of their needs with great players. They had, I think, maybe one pick. I think I questioned the late round quarterback. But other than that, I thought they nailed it. And for a team in a division that's full of question marks around them, nailing the draft was the best thing they could have done.
I think that's great. Yes. Teran, who do you think actually just killed it? Nailed it.
Cowboys, 49ers. I want to say the Raiders, kind of. I'd have to go back and see the loved it, but for the most part, I think the Cowboys and the 49ers killed it. I don't really know off the top of my head, AFC-wise, who I think won the draft, but overall, it's those two. Anything more that comes to mind, I'll probably just tweet it out, but it's pretty much those two.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. I'm going to tell you right now, I am being completely biased here, and I don't even care. I think the Raiders did it, guys. We have picks. If we can figure out the quarterback situation, like Mike said, this could be a special group of players. I can't even believe I'm sitting here talking this positive about a team that I've been talking so negative about for years. Mike, you should be proud of me. I've made it a long way. With that said,
I'm not convinced I'm not dreaming.
Right? So with that said, Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
They can find me on Twitter at MikePatt91. They can also find my writings on the IE Sports Radio blog. That's www.iesportsradioblog.wordpress.com. And also tune into my show, Let's Whine About Sports, on Mondays at 8.
That's what I'm talking about. Where can they find you, Teran?
You can find me on Twitter at Teran Rodriguez1, Teran, and then Rodriguez, Rodriguez, and then the number 1. You can also catch me on Set Point every week. The days vary considering I'm a busy guy, but I will be chugging along as Set Point continues to go on, even with the pandemic.
Alrighty. Well, you know how that goes, y'all. We're doing our best here. Enjoying life, loving it, trying to get through this pandemic, as I hope all of you are as well. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Stay home as much as you can unless you gotta go to work or you need something. Let's get through this together, y'all. With that said, as I always say, all glory to God. It's right. Without Him, nothing is possible. I will Lord, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And of course, big ups to all you out there, our listeners. We love y'all. Thank you so much with the distance. Yet again, 3 hours. This has been fun. Big shout out and thank you to my boys, man, Mr. Teran Rodriguez and Mr. Mike Patt, of course, up in the chat room, Mr. Matt Hames, Mr. Ashton, and Mr. Marcus. Those great. And of course, check us out, y'all, at iesportsradio.com. I gotta go update it. Check us out at iesportsradio on Twitter, at iesportsradio on Instagram, at iesportsradio on Facebook. Of course, you can catch me, your boy Larry B, at THE_L53. We're doing it, y'all. We're doing our thing. Check us out. Follow us all. Show us some love. We show it right on back, y'all. Give us a follow on our main pages. There you go. For my boys, I'm sure these guys here will give you a follow back as well, man. I'm telling you, it's all love here, and that's what it's all about. As Meg says, football's family. We will see you July 27th for the start of 8 divisions in 8 days. We're talking AFC West. Since the Kansas City Chiefs brought it home this year, we'll be starting in the AFC West to start off AFC Week. That's right, y'all. The winner of Super Bowl and their division and their conference, of course, starts off every year. It's a new thing this year, and that'll be that. With that said, y'all, this is me, your boy Larry B, for Teran Rodriguez, for Mike Patt. We will see y'all coming up this fall, at the end of the summer, that is. We'll see y'all then. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.